It's one of the most heated rivalries in all of college football. Boise State, Idaho. And again this year, a Big West title and humanitarian bowl berth right in the balance. You can add to the emotion the fact that this is the final time the Vandals and Broncos will meet as conference foes. The Boise State offense right now on fire. The Broncos averaging 50 points per game in Big West play, 66 against Utah State last week. Credit the outburst to quarterback Bart Hendricks. Hendricks holds 10 Bronco passing records and leads the nation in touchdown passes and points responsible for. This is Bart's fourth game against the Vandals. He's looking for his third win. As for Idaho, well, the Vandals have staged back-to-back comebacks to keep their title hopes alive. A last-second field goal at North Texas and an overtime win against New Mexico State have set the table for today's winner-take-all game. Boise State, Idaho, it's next, and it's live on the Broncos Television Network. We are live at Bronco Stadium on what has turned into an absolutely beautiful day for the Big West Championship. Today, the Idaho Vandals come into Bronco Stadium with a 5-5 record, 3-1 in conference play against the Boise State Broncos, 8-2 and 4-0. This is the third straight year these two teams have met, and the winner goes to the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. Hi again, everybody. Wayne DeZubak along with Larry Pulowski, and welcome here high atop Bronco Stadium for today's Big West Championship game. And I'll tell you what, there's more emotion because in this game, for the foreseeable future, this is the last time these two teams will meet as conference foes, Larry.
Well, it really is, and these guys know it, too. I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock with butterflies in my stomach. I have no idea what these kids feel like down there. This is for all the marbles, all the games they've played so far. They all don't count. It's down to one.
Let's start our Atkinson Marin Glass player profiles with Bart Hendricks. We talk about him every week, but you've got to.
Well, you have to. I mean, this guy's unstoppable. Nobody's been able to slow this guy down. 2 weeks in a row, he's been the co-Big West Player of the Week. He is the man.
Bronco defense got burnt for a few yards last week, but Shenard Hartz says that won't happen this week.
Hey, this guy's a senior. He wants to go out and create a bang out there today, and he can do it from the defensive backfield, coming up to stop the run or the pass.
Hey, we are lucky today on the blue turf. We got two of the best quarterbacks in the nation. The other is John Welsh of the Idaho Vandals.
Well, the Vandals have a great quarterback in John Welsh. This guy's put up some big numbers. Nationally, he's ranked in a lot of categories. Broncos have got to stop this guy today, or at least slow him down.
And on defense, Chris Nofawinga comes in here. Chris is the Big West Player of the Year a year ago.
Well, and he deserved it. He's the leading tackler for this Vandal club this year. This guy's the heart and soul of his defense. Saw him on the field without his shirt on before the game. He is a stud. This guy's ready to play.
Speaking of studs, let's go down to the sidelines. The third member of our broadcast crew, as always, is Jeff Gaines. Jeff?
Thank you very much, Wayne. 30th and last conference meeting, as you guys pointed out. Next year, it's back to Pullman, and the game won't feel the same. It's September on the 29th. In 2002, we're back here in Bronco Stadium. Labor Day weekend, August 31st. Enjoy it. Have a great one. Wayne?
All right, thank you, Jeff Gaines. Let's talk about the overhead door keys to the game. If the Broncos are going to win this one, what's it going to take?
Well, as I look at this game, the Broncos have got to play with the relaxed confidence that they've played with almost every game this year. They've got to continue that. It's a huge game, but they've got to continue to be relaxed. Second of all, they've got to work the defensive backfield with the passing game. They've got to put pressure on the cornerbacks and safeties in that Vandal defense. And the third thing they've got to do is force John Welsh into some bad decisions, and you do that with pressure, pressure, pressure.
All righty, we got a kickoff getting ready to come up here. Boise State against Idaho for the Big West Championship, and on this day, Bronco Stadium will be the 5th largest city in the state of Idaho. The kickoff coming up after this on the Bronco Television Network. I'll tell you what, you cannot ask for a better day for a college football game. Wayne DeZubak, Larry Pulowski with you. Jeff Caves, they'll have our reports from the sidelines. Thanks for joining us here all across the state on the Bronco Television Network. Time now for our St. Alphonsus Regional Medical Center injury report, and there you see it right there.
Now, this is like our annual injury report.
Yeah.
These guys have been hurt for quite a while, but nobody currently playing or starting is injured, so your St. Alphonsus injury report is old news, and that's good news for the Broncos.
Well, the Broncos pretty much healthy for this game. There you see the coaches, Tom Cable in his first year, getting the taste again of what he used to have, this big rivalry between the Vandals and the Broncos, and then Dirk Cutter.
You should have seen the cat and mouse game between these two before the game. Cutter working back and forth. Actually waited till Brent Guy went up and introduced himself to Tom Cable before they would speak to each other. It was amazing.
Now that Big 12 wins in a row by the Vandals. They lead the series 17-11-1. Boise State last year 45-14 was your final, and we are getting ready for the kickoff here in this game. Willie Alderson deep for the Idaho Vandals. Also back there, Jordan Kramer. And as you see, it's sunny, it's cold here. It's 31 degrees, very light wind. But given the fact that they were talking about an inversion and maybe only 25 degrees, at 31 degrees with sunshine, it feels like a spring, balmy day here. Again, Willie Alderson deep, Jordan Kramer deep, and the kickoff is going to come to Jordan Kramer. He'll take it at the 8-yard line. And Kramer fights his way out to the 21-yard line before he is brought down, and that's where the Vandals will have their first possession of this game. Well, John Welch, we've heard a lot about him. He is right up there in the stats along with Bart Hendricks, and he is completing, I think the impressive part about his stats, Larry, is that he's completing 63% of his passes.
Oh, he is, and his two big receivers are going to be Lacey number 3 and Alderson number 20, so watch him all day long. Go to those two guys mainly.
You know, it's interesting that not only does Alderson lead this team in rushing, but Alderson is also the leading receiver. He's the leading points guy. He has 90 points on the year. He does pretty much everything. Not the pass, right off the get-go, it is complete. And about an 8-yard gain as Idaho goes to the air right away here in this ball game. And that pass is complete there to Jellenberg.
Take a look at our Dodge starting lineup. That offensive front for the Vandals. Scott, Morton, Wallace. DeMulling probably the best one on that line. In the backfield, Jellenberg. Roberg, the tight end's another candidate to catch a lot of balls today. Keep your eyes on him.
2nd down and 2 for the Vandals. Jellenberg in motion. The pitch to Willie Alderson. And Alderson's got enough for a first down, or he's very close. It'll depend on where they mark it. That hole closed pretty quickly.
Dodge starting lineup for the defense with Coppell, Terry Phillips, and Weber. No changes up front. Brown and Sandoval will take the linebacker core, and the defensive backfield, Julius Brown at the cornerback. Keep your eyes there. D. Ross not getting the start today. But actually, he is getting the start today, so I think our starting lineup was not right.
All right, they're measuring it, and it's going to be just a little bit shy, so that mark was back there, so it'll be 3rd down and about a foot for the Idaho Vandals here on their first series. Just underway. Thanks for joining us on the Bronco Television Network. It is, as we said, turned out to be a great day for a college football game on this day of rivalries across the country. Everywhere you look, they've got big, huge games here in the Northwest. You got the Apple Cup up there in Pullman today, and then you got the Civil War, that game in Corvallis, and you got whatever you want to call this one here in Boise, Idaho.
And the nice thing about it, Wayne, the stadium is absolutely packed out. It's a beautiful sight.
All right, the Vandals with 3rd down and 1. About a foot, actually. And John Welch will take it himself, and he's got enough for the first down. So John Welch coming in here, having thrown for more than 3,000 yards, completing 63% of his passes, has 21 touchdowns on the year. Really, the only knock about him is he has 13 interceptions.
We need to remember that last year when Welch played against the Broncos, he was a little dinged up. He'd been coming off that broken ankle. And he allowed the Broncos to get to him.
1st and 10 for the Vandals. Broncos showing about 8 guys on that front line right off the get-go. Welch, and there's a flag down, and I think maybe they used too much clock. Yeah, it's going to be delay a game against the Vandals.
Well, they came out in a double tight end set, Wayne, and they made an audible at the line of scrimmage and took too much time.
All right, so it'll be 1st down and 15 now. And they will move it all the way back to right around the 28-yard line.
This is usually a position, Wayne, where Brent Guy and this defense really like to bring pressure. They really like to blitz in 1st and 15 or 1st and 20.
Jellenberg and Chris Lacey come to the near side wide receiver. Ethan Jones to the top of your screen on 1st down and 15 from the 28. Handoff to Willie Alderson. He doesn't get anything. Back to the line of scrimmage if he's lucky.
Sandoval up there to make the tackle while Cherry's over there. Justin Howell.
You know, one of the keys for the Broncos this year, Larry, I think, is the fact that Sandoval has stayed healthy, because with Kareem Williams out, he was the big gun last year up in Pullman, but Sandoval really needs it. And, of course, this is
Zach Gertschner. You see 3 Broncos there to meet him at the line of scrimmage.
Now Willie Alderson back in the game. This is 2nd down and 15. This is Alderson up the middle. And he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Bronco defense geared to stop the run. As we mentioned, Willie Alderson is a quadruple threat. Every time you look, he's the guy they like to go to.
Again, Sandoval in on that tackle. Number 7, the middle linebacker. Watch this play go right up the gut. It's supposed to. Alderson tries to bounce it outside, but again, 3 or 4 Broncos right there. Jeff Kopp, part of that bevy of Broncos to meet him too.
Well, there'll be a lot of big 3rd down plays here, but one of the things you like to do the first time you're on defense is to get a team to go 3 and out. They got 1 first down, Idaho did. Now the Vandals have a long 3rd and 15. Well, here comes some pressure. He's going to be sacked. That is Sasser. Drake Sasser making a great play. It'll be 4th and long.
Sasser came from that strong safety position right off the tackle. It was a greatly designed blitz. Nobody in his way. He had an uncharted course right to John Welch. The 5-step drop. Look at Sasser. There's nobody there. They don't have enough guys at the line of scrimmage to block him. They had 4 wide receivers, nobody in the backfield, nobody to pick up the blitz.
So the Vandals will punt. It's a low snap, scooped off the turf, and takes kind of a... Well, now it's got a good bounce. For a minute there, I thought it was one of those Tiger Woods chip shots, you know, where it just stopped. We got fights all over the place. Boise State will have the football.
There were a couple Broncos actually near the ball. I have no idea why on special teams on a punt like that you would be near the ball if you're a Bronco, but somebody was out there playing around. Bart Hendricks putting up some huge, huge numbers. That 30 touchdown pass is probably the most impressive, and it should be impressive because it ties in for the national lead for touchdown passes.
That was a 32-yard punt that time. Alderson, by the way, 3 carries in that first possession for Idaho, only 4 yards. There come the Broncos. And they're going to hand it off. And that's Brock Forsey. And Brock Forsey has the first down all the way into Vandal territory at the 44. Gain of 11 yards.
You'll see that motion action from the Broncos all day long. Sometimes they hand it off, sometimes they don't. Dodge starting lineups. Thomas Butis, Huff, Vian Hill, the same starting lineup there. And this backfield and receiver core, pretty solid right now. Really can't argue with anybody that's out there on the field, but you'll see all kinds of receivers out there for the Broncos.
1st and 10 for Boise State at the Vandal 44. Brock Forsey with a handoff, and he'll get a couple of 3 yards there.
Mike Jones got in there and held up the line of scrimmage. One of the starters on the defensive front for the Vandals that's not hurt. Knowles, Beck, Jones, and Johnson. And Johnson and Knowles both banged up big time. Daniel Nofoinga and Jim Petrie. Jim Petrie's small, but quick and agile out there. And you see the backfield with Kramer, Seamster, Gibbs, and Rice.
Now you talk about Jim Petrie. Rick is all over the place. He's their 2nd leading tackler for the Vandals as Boise State faces a 2nd down and about 8. Play action fake. Wide open. That's going to be a touchdown. Boise State getting in there right like that. Lou Fanucchi again, the big guy.
Lou Fanucchi and Bart Hendricks are on the same page. They have been there all year long, and it's obviously continuing through into this big championship game today. Lou Fanucchi wide open. He comes across the field, runs a slant route right across the field towards the other corner of the end zone, and there's no way Kramer can stay with Lou Fanucchi.
No, you're right about that. He couldn't do it. 41-yard touchdown. The 31st of the year for Bart Hendricks. And Nick Kalayakai, point after is up and good. So we've got 10 minutes to go here in the first quarter, and the Boise State Broncos have drawn first blood on the blue turf. Boise State leads at 7-0 over the Idaho Vandals. Stay with us here on the Bronco Television Network. 7-0. Boise State leads it. Bart Hendricks to Lou Finucci, the touchdown pass. These guys have done it all year long, and they start here today. A 3-play, 56-yard drive that took a minute 7. And the Broncos will be kicking off again. Brent Thompson to kick off here. And Jordan Kramer and Willie Alderson once again are deep for the Idaho Vandals. As you can see, it is a crystal clear day here in Boise, Idaho. And Jordan Kramer comes underneath it at the 8-yard line. Kramer trying the middle, has a hole. And Kramer, a nice return out to the 37-yard line.
Well, they really did a good job of breaking up the wedge. But the trouble was they got collapsed a little bit, and there was a hole right up the middle. Kramer found that hole. And Brent Thompson over there just in time to get enough of Kramer to slow him down so he could get some help. That thing almost went for 6.
All right, John Welch got one first down, the Vandals did. And then got forced in 3rd and long and got sacked. Idaho now 5 rushes for -2 yards on the game. They have 6 yards in total offense. And a handoff. That's Alderson. And he breaks a couple of tackles and gets out to the 44-yard line. And we got a late hit. And that late hit is going to be on Idaho. And that'll be a 15-yard penalty.
Matt Leatuala from that offensive line came over the top of the pile and hit Jeff Kopp after the fact, so they're going to move him back 15. Take a look at it here. You see over the top of the pile, ball carrier well down, and actually it was Weber that got drilled, not Kopp.
Well, I tell you, when you're a coach standing right there and you see your player down and you see another guy fly over him, it's like, well, wait a minute, did you see he was down? It just drives you nuts because, you just had a nice little run there by Willie Alderson.
Personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty. 2nd down.
But it does illustrate, Wayne, the intensity that's in this game right now. I mean, these two teams hate each other. The two schools hate each other. I think the two cities, Moscow and Boise, hate each other. There's so many Vandals down here in Boise. It's just a tremendous atmosphere. But you see a little bit of extracurricular activity right off the get-go.
All right, so once again, the Vandals backed up. Handoff up the middle, Willie Alderson. D. Ross finally brings him down. And let's go down to Jeff Caves on the sideline. Jeff?
Well, there's a lot of love down here for Crucial Technology. Fred Waddell's the general manager. Of course, Crucial.com is the title sponsor for the Humanitarian Bowl. 2nd year now. Let's first get the basics. Some people are getting more familiar with Crucial Technology because of your national advertising campaign, but exactly what does it do to our PC?
The Crucial basically is the muscle of a PC, Jeff. You got to have muscle and speed, and putting memory into a PC is really what drives it.
All right, Wayne?
All right, Jeff Welch, 3rd down and 13, and he overthrows Chris Lacey. I mean, I'll tell you what, he was wide open. He had beaten Dempsey Dees to the inside, and he was there. Welch couldn't find him.
Well, the punting team will come on. Let's go back down to Jeff Caves and finish that interview with Fred Waddell.
Fred, what's your preference? El Paso, Fresno, or San Jose? All 3 pretty good TV markets.
Great TV markets. I think even better, great teams this year, too. Like always, the Humanitarian Bowl has had some great matchups.
Any plans for next season in terms of the Crucial Technology relationship with the H Bowl?
We definitely expect it to go on. We've had a great time these past 2 years, and I expect everything in the future to be just as positive.
Fred, thanks for the time. Wayne?
Another flag you see thrown. You got to believe it'll be against the Vandals for interfering in that 3-yard zone. Quentin Michael making a catch and didn't really catch it. He just caught it, and there was a lot of Vandals around him.
Watch this ball come down. You've got to have a little buffer zone. You can see both the Vandals well within that 3-yard halo that's supposed to be around the punt returner. Now, if this was the XFL, wouldn't have to worry about that, I guess. They have different rules.
Interference on the coverage team. 1st down.
All right, that'll give you 5 yards is all.
This is still the NCAA. They have to give them 3 yards to catch the ball.
All right, we're going to be back. It'll be Boise State's ball when we come back to Broncos Stadium. They lead at 7-0 right here on the Broncos Television Network. We've got 8 minutes and 37 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Boise State leads it by a score of 7-0 here at Bronco Stadium.
Let's take a look at our Boise Tyree Bronco mystery, well, not really player this week. I'm going to give you that clue already. This Bronco great actually graduated from the U of I, originated from Walla Walla, Washington, and learned offensive football from John Ralston. Inducted into BSU Hall of Fame in '82, the first class.
Brock Horsey, meantime, nice little run of about 5 yards.
And the Bronco offense certainly will take those 5-yard gains. Actually, maybe just a little less than the 5 yards. He would kind of slip down over there. You have to watch this turf. If you notice, right there in the middle of the field, there's kind of a wet spot where the Vandals are huddling. Not sure exactly how that happened.
Vandals, by the way, have been penalized 25 yards early in this game. And now the Broncos face a 2nd down and 7. Hendricks, play action. Looking deep again. He's got a receiver wide open. And all the way down is Rob Snelling, the tight end.
The tight end taking a post route, or actually the streak route, right straight up the middle of the field. Bart Hendricks tagging all the way. You can see him coming out of the slot, just runs right straight up the numbers. And Brad Rice can't stay with the big tight end. He can catch him, but he couldn't stay with him. He's down at the 12.
You know, you wonder how he gets free like that when he, he's not the fleet of foot, but that was just a great move, a great fake, and the Broncos are right down knocking on the door again.
Well, I don't think the Vandals expected to see a tight end out in the slot like that.
Now a little confusion. Boise State has to call timeouts. They were probably trying something new, and it was really Brock Forsey who was confused. And Bart Hendricks says, well, let's call timeout and figure it out here.
Let's go back to our Boise Tire Bronco mystery person, we'll call it this week, Wayne.
So so you're telling me it's not a player?
Well, he was a player.
Okay.
But he just didn't play at Boise State. This great Bronco graduated from the U of I.
All right.
And he originally hailed from Walla Walla, Washington. Learned his offensive football from John Ralston, the University of Utah, and Denver Broncos coach, and was inducted into the BSU Hall of Fame in '82, the first class. Now, how would a Vandal get inducted into the Boise State Hall of Fame?
If he were Tony Knapp.
That's how it would happen.
Okay.
Tony Knapp with the greatest winning percentage of any coach that's been here at Boise State. 71, 72% winning percentage. Just an incredible guy. Recruited me to Boise State. So one of the greatest motivational speakers I ever heard, Wayne.
Speaking of motivational speakers, you've got to speak tomorrow, don't you? Have that Bronco football banquet tomorrow night at 5.
Yeah.
So how motivational are you going to be?
Well, that'll be real motivational for somebody. I'm not sure, but you can tell the kind of budget they have for speakers. When they get me up there to speak, obviously they have no budget. It's like free talent on a commercial, right?
Yep.
Get the sales guy to do it because they're free. Get the announcer guy to do it because he's free.
All right, we are back to action here. Boise State's got a first down. Ball right at the 13-yard line. They hand it off. That's Brock Forsey. Touchdown. Nobody was there to get him. And I think Brock Forsey was as surprised as anybody else.
Well, there was some nice blocking out on the end. Jeff Putzier, I believe, was out there on the end making a block. Forsey just ran right to the corner of the end zone. And you're right, Wayne, there was nobody there. Excellent use of a timeout to figure out the right play to call for the defense they saw. Good seal off by the O-line. Look at the seal off there. They just wedged that corner off. No way that anybody can get there. And by the time the cornerback gets off his block, and that is Jeb out there doing a good job freeing up the corner for Brock Forsey.
So Nikolai guys on to try to make it 14-0, and he puts it right through. The Broncos have scored twice here in the first quarter. We've got 7:29 to go in the first period of play, and Boise State has jumped to a 14-0 lead on the Idaho Vandals. Remember, the winner goes to the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. Right now, the Boise State Broncos are loving what they see. We'll be back on the Broncos Television Network. Well, there you see the story. Boise State has taken a 14-0 lead here. The Broncos have scored 2 touchdowns in 6 plays, and they've only needed 2 minutes and 15 seconds to get the job done. How about that?
Well, those long passing plays in the middle of those things, Wayne, sure helped the time of possession. No doubt about it.
Boise State now with 119 yards in total offense to 19 for Idaho. And the kickoff is going to come to Willie Alderson, who steps back all the way to the goal line. And
And Alderson has some running room up the middle. And finally brought down. A nice return by Willie of about 24 yards.
This Vandal kickoff return team does a nice job of creating some holes up there. That's twice now they've created a seam right up the middle. Maybe they found a little weakness in this Bronco cover team.
Well, I apologize. They fooled me. They did not fool Brett Thompson. They switched around Alderson and Kramer. That was Kramer returning it up the middle, and Thompson saw that, and he kicked it away from Alderson. So
senior leadership by the big kicker.
I tell you what, he picked that up right away. So here come the Vandals now. They need to get some offense going. They've got the ball at the 24-yard line, and nothing doing.
Boy, Sandoval is all wound up in this first quarter. He's made more tackles in this first quarter than I think he has in 2 games. Senior out of Tucson, Arizona. Not the biggest guy in the world, but one of the more physical middle backers that the Broncos have. Justin Howell and Justin Brown both are physical guys, but they're not as physical as Sandoval.
No, you got to go back to the fact that if you're Idaho, the last time you had the ball, you did have Chris Lacey wide open over the middle. John Wells simply missed him, so on 2nd down and 10 after no gain by Alderson, maybe you go back to the air. Intercepted by D. Ross, but they're going to call pass interference.
They're going to call D. Ross with the push-up. As he was turning to go up for the ball, he separated himself from the receiver, Ethan Jones, number 80. They're going to call that every time. Watch us going down the sideline now. If you see the ball coming down, you'll watch D. Ross just separate himself right there. That's the penalty. Great call. Referee right there. Watch both hands. Both hands on the chest. Very obvious. And it wasn't even an interception. The ball hits the turf, too.
On the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
All right, so right there, that's Idaho's biggest play of the game. It gets them near the 40-yard line. .6:38 to go here in the first quarter. Boise stayed up 14-0 early. Official blew his whistle. Everybody stopped to look around and see what the deal was. He said, I'm just blowing the play, to go. Now I'm going to blow it for something else.
Well, they're going to reset this thing again, I believe.
Not sure what they're doing.
Well, when you have all the players turn and look at the official because he blew his whistle, he probably didn't blow it at the right time. That would be my guess. Now we're going to start it over again.
All right, here we go. Everybody's on the same page. 1st and 10 for Idaho at the 39-yard line. Alderson. Maybe a yard.
Willie Alderson carries for Idaho. As the Broncos.
I got to tell you, Willie Alderson really, Dirk Cutter earlier this week said he really underestimated the ability of Willie Alderson. You can see his stats on the year. And when he won that starting tailback job, I don't think that a lot of people thought he was going to have those kind of numbers.
Well, Tom Cable didn't even think that, I don't believe. At 5 yards a carry, you've got to say that after 218 carries, that's a very productive year.
2nd down and 9. Broberg in motion. And Jeff Welch handing it off, and nothing there again.
Tony Altieri with the legs, Jeff Kopp with the upper body, and Willie Alderson goes down. That's a 41, 42.
So far, the Bronco defensive front line has really done a job stopping the run, and it's really forced Idaho to go to the air. That's the only place where they've shown right now that they have the ability to make a big play.
Well, here comes Lacey and Jelmberg back in the game, so you know one of those two guys is probably going to be on the end of this reception.
Well, Josh Jelmberg has 39 receptions this year, and Chris Lacey has 40. So 50-50 as to which one he'll go to. 3rd down and long. 3rd down and 8. Welch, quick drop back. It is complete for a first down. And they throw it out to Jelmberg.
The Broncos on the defensive side adjusted their defense right before the ball was snapped. So they saw something in the lineup that they wanted to change their defense, but it didn't help them because they're still able to get the ball out to Jelmberg in good shape. And he easily gets the first down. Again, watch him from the slot. Just runs an out route.
Well, the Vandals for the first time today. They're in Bronco territory at the 49-yard line. Broberg in motion. And Alderson up the middle. Greg Sasser puts a stop on him, but a nice 4-yard gain for Willie Alderson.
Alderson's getting a workout here in this first quarter, isn't he, Wayne? They're using him a lot. He hasn't had much room to run up the middle. He's getting a workout. Tom Cable trying to figure this Bronco defense out. Helped along with a penalty for one first down, and then a real nice designed pass play for another.
Second down play, Alderson skipping around. Now he's got some running room, and D. Ross brings him down, but Alderson, his first daylight of the day, gets the first down.
Nice cutback ability by Alderson, much like Brock Forsey for the Broncos, has the ability to get into that line of scrimmage, really set up his blocks, look for the cutback lanes, and then get everything you can get.
First down for the Vandals. Ball at the 37-yard line. Come out of that I formation. Welch. Just a quick pass out there. It is complete. Juggled a little bit, but finally brought in there by Ethan Jones. Let's go down to Jeff Caves on the sideline.
You know, in 1985, the Chicago Bears got a lot of attention for running William the Refrigerator Perry at fullback. Have you checked out number 62 and 68, over 300 pounds for Idaho, blocking for Alderson? It's been incredible stories that unfold. We'll talk to Coach Cable at the end of the second quarter about that. Wayne?
All righty, good enough. Yeah, they're really coming out with that big guy there trying to block him, huh? Look at that. Hand off to Alderson. And he'll get a few more, very close to another first down.
Well, this blocking scheme has changed a little bit, and it's certainly being more productive right now. The Vandals clipping off 5-6 yards of crack. Sasser had to come up and make that tackle. See Bobby Hammer in there at one of the defensive tackle spots, along with Phillips, Kopp, and Weber. And Tony Altieri taking a little bit of a break. Look at our Sinclair update board. Georgia Tech having their way with Maryland. Illinois showing no offense whatsoever.
All right, third down and about a foot. They keyed on Alderson, but I think he's got it. He only needed a foot. He didn't get much more than that, but well, I tell you what, Greg Sasser was keyed on him, came right in after him.
First down for the Vandals. Willie Alderson's the man that's going to touch that ball a lot of times today. Some via the pass, some via the run like that. Some of those defensive signals that Jeff Caves told us about a couple weeks ago at Arkansas State. Again, it's a tendency that this Vandal offense shows when they come out in certain down and distance and lineups.
Welch, slugged down from behind.
LeGarry Mitchell, obviously that tendency chart that they held up to the defense had something going for it, because LeGarry Mitchell blitzed off the left side of the formation, got through clean, and was able to sack John Welch.
Yeah, LeGarry Mitchell, the guy that blocked the punt last week at the end of the half against Utah State, making a big play again here tonight.
See, Mitchell runs right by 62, Matt Martinez, gets just enough of the leg to bring Welch down.
He is just a freshman. Second down and 15. Intercepted.
Jeff Kopp.
It's a race. I don't think he's going to win it, but he's got the ball. That's what counts. Jeff Kopp with the interception.
Jeff Kopp, the senior from Idaho Falls. I know our viewers down there on KIDK in Idaho Falls and Pocatello getting a big kick out of the senior. 230-pound defensive end picking off the screen pass and taking it back to the 30-yard line. Unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, that's a huge play for Boise State. The Vandals had their first really good drive going, Larry, and really had a lot of things going their way. Started with LeGarry Mitchell coming in there and sacking Jeff Welch, the second sack of the day, and then he just tried to throw that little pass out in the flat, and Jeff Kopp read that perfectly. 32-yard return after the interception by Kopp. Here's Bart's numbers.
Watch this. This is going to the end zone, Wayne. First play.
Here comes the blitz.
And they screwed up the timing. Good job by the Vandals there to screw up the timing on the screen. They've seen the screen pass a lot of times out of this Bronco offense. Jeff Putz here is the intended receiver. They're going to do kind of a little gimmick screen almost.
Yeah, really, because normally, that screen goes over to Brock Forsey.
Bronco fans, show your support with the BSU faceplate, available for your Nokia 5100 digital phone models. They're available at ABC Wireless. ABC Wireless is the technology sponsor of the Bronco Television Network.
All right, second down and 10 after no gain there. Jay Swilly is in. Hendricks throws it out of bounds. He's looking for Brock Forsey, but everybody was covered. He had 3 receivers in the pattern, and they were all covered very well.
Going to set up this 3rd and 10. And, you know, that's the risk you run. It's trying a tricky play like a screen play on 1st down when you're in your opponent's territory. Although, if you complete it, it's got a good opportunity to go for a lot of yardage. It still puts you in kind of a hole. And at 3rd and 10, now they're going to have to pull something out of the back.
Well, 3rd and 10. I'll tell you, the Broncos have been marvelous on 3rd down plays in the last couple of 3 games. Let's see what they do here. Idaho bringing some pressure from the outside. And Bart Hendricks gets it away.
Brock Forsey takes that pass from Hendricks. As Hendricks was going down, the blitzer came right off the corner. There's no way that Hendricks should get that ball off, but he does. And enough for a 1st down. Watch this, as Hendricks is hit from the blind side and has enough, 1, strength, and 2, enough vision to get the ball over to Forsey. Absolutely an incredible play. Jordan Kramer can't bring him down.
1st and 10 at the 16 of Idaho.
Bart Hendricks under center. Snelling in motion. Hand off to Forsey. And the Vandals do a pretty good job of rallying to the ball.
Forsey carries. Jordan Kramer makes the tackle for the Vandals.
Brock Forsey is another guy that you're going to see a lot of today. Taking the ball up the middle off the left side of the formation for only about a 2, maybe 3-yard gain.
And we got a little bit of a mic. Maybe still have one here.
And now you're back, Leonard.
I'm trying to be back.
When you've got me doing play-by-play, you know.
All right, let's see what we can do here. 2nd down for Boise State. 2nd and 7 at the 13-yard line. Bart Hendricks going to carry it. Up the middle. Touchdown. And Boise State is up 20-0.
Wow. Deja vu all over again, Wayne, just like last year up in Pullman. The Broncos jumped out to that quick 21-0 lead. And were able to extend it to a big 45-14 victory. The Broncos turning up the heat right here with speed option. You know, Bart Hicks calls on number 2 on the speed option. Look at the pass. Look at the protection he has right there. Bart Hendricks, Mr. Everything. That's good. Kalaiki's up. Flag down as Kalaikai goes down.
And I think Kalaiki's done it all this year, hasn't he?
He really has. I mean, Kalaiki's one of the highest ranked kickers in the NCAA.
Yeah, the Broncos have jumped up here for a 21-point first quarter. There are 47 seconds left to go in the first period of play here in Boise State. Has jumped up 21-0.
Remember that all set up by Jeff Cobb, intercepting the screen pass by the Vandals and returning it all the way down to the 30-yard line. I mean, you talk about a senior wanting to go out big in his final game. Can you imagine the emotion Jeff Cobb's going through right now? Local Idaho guy from Idaho Falls, making a big play, and then Bart Hendricks.
Speaking of big playmakers, huh?
Oh, it's just incredible, isn't it? I mean, this kid, he loves the speed option, and he hates to call his own number. But when you can run like this guy can, why not? But remember the huge 3rd down play when he got the ball to Forsey on the screen pass.
Oh, no
He was
question.
being hit in the back by Jordan Kramer. That's incredible.
Well, and on that run by Bart, you saw the nice block there by Ron Snelling. So you got to give everybody credit, but you're right. A blindside blitz came in, and what a great play. That was a 5-play, 30-yard drive after the interception. Took a minute 29. So the Broncos, in less than 4 minutes, folks, have put up 21 points. They've had the ball 4 minutes. They've scored 21 points. And all of a sudden, the Vandals are in a deep hole. And this is the same scenario as a year ago. And you know what happened here? here. Boise State onside kick. You don't think Cutter would try that again, do you?
Well, I think Dirk's he's a gutsy guy. And
he had the onside kick not work last week against Utah State, so you never know. I don't think that I would go at this point and use it. It worked last year. I think you're dipping to the well too much if you do. Especially with 47 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
I think you might see some kind of a pooch kick or a pop-up kick. Try to keep the ball away from those two returnmen. The last two returns the Vandals have had have been for pretty good yardage.
Well, because of the penalty, Boise State will be kicking off from the 50-yard line. So, you know, one of those little sky kicks like you're talking about could land at the 5-yard line, be exactly where you want it.
Or it could land in the end zone crowd, one way or the other.
There's that sky kick, and it is coming down at the 5. How about that? Jordan Kramer. This guy's dangerous. He's got some running room to the outside, but Wes Nurse, nice contact there to take him down, and there's a flag late. I'm not sure why. They just rode each other out of bounds. We'll see what happens. See if somebody else got involved in the fray.
Now, I believe they're going to call Boise State for a personal foul there because at the end of that, I guess they considered a little bit too much aggression at the end of that tackle. That's what the call is. Watch the end of this play. Now, they make contact here, and you're right, Wayne. They do ride each other out of bounds, but watch kind of the body slam at the end of this.
Yeah.
And actually, it was Brent Thompson that came over and knocked Nurse in the back and really made that look worse than what it was. So, well,
dead ball foul. Personal foul. They hit out of bounds on the coverage team. 15 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Well, like you said, you know, it really wasn't Nurse and Kramer. They were riding each other out of bounds. That's no big deal. But Brett Thompson came over there, gave him a kiss in the back, and that you can't do that.
Penalty yardage fairly even. Boise State with a couple of 15-yarders, though, that racked up yardage quick.
All right, first down for the Vandals. Ball at the 36-yard line. Welch throwing, knocked down. Boy, Boise State is all over that little throw there. That was Shenard Hartz who knocked it down.
Shenard Hartz, one of our Atkinson Mirren Glass profile players before the game. Again, the senior wanting to go out with a bang, and a great diving knockdown there by the senior from the Bay Area in California. Pittsburgh, California, home of Joe Aliotti, the quarterback on that 1980 Boise State team that will be honored at halftime here at Bronco Stadium.
Second down play, complete to Ethan Jones, and he's drug out of bounds, short of a first down. Let me give you a stat here. If I were to tell you that Boise State has had the football for 3 minutes and 44 seconds of this game, and Idaho has had it for 10 minutes and 29 seconds, what would you say the score would be?
Well, you wouldn't think it'd be 21-0, the team that had the lesser time, but this is a quick strike offense. Great route here by Jones. 5-yard stop route. Dempsey Bees was worried about going deep, so he had to come back. Did make the tackle, but they still gained 8 yards.
All right, third down and 2. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Welch in trouble. Now he's got a lot of running room. Everybody had to guard everybody. That was just a play that broke down, and Welch made the most of it. Has a huge first down to the 32 of Boise State.
Welch got drilled out of bounds, and he's slow getting up. He's still over on the track. He took a good lick.
Ed Dean, of course, is the backup.
Let's watch the end of this play now. As he gets forced out of the pocket, this play is designed to go left all the way. In fact, you see him still looking left. Now he comes back to the right. There's nobody out there except Justin Brown and the receiver. Let's watch the end of this play. He takes a good lick. I'm not sure if it was Michael or Hartz. Actually, it was Dees and Hartz. And he just came down awkwardly on that right shoulder.
So he's now up.
Watch as he goes down here. He lands on the right side of his body, and they've got his arms pinned, so he came down shoulder first. He'll have to come out for at least a play.
He looks like he's all right. Looks like he wants to go back in there.
Well, he has to come out now because they had to stop play to do this. So
Ed Dean coming in. Ed Dean is the senior out of Grandview, Idaho.
Rimrock High School.
Boy, I tell you what, you go after a brand new quarterback coming in cold, you got to figure he's going to hand it off to Willie.
That would be the smart play.
Willie Allison tripped up in the backfield. How about that? Boise State again. Justin Brown making a great play in the backfield. that Zach Gershner there was there? Yeah, it was Gershner.
Now, Alderson checks back into the game now.
That's going to bring the first quarter to an end here at Bronco Stadium, and it's been all Boise State. We played a period of action here in the Big West Championship game, and the Boise State Broncos lead it 21-0. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network. All right, the Vandal flag is flying right now, but it's a little lower than it was. 21-0 in favor of Boise State. Well, throwing out complete to Jumberg. That's not going to be much of a gain at all. Maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Dempsey Dees with the coverage for the Broncos. And again, Welsh had, who is back in the game, appears to be just fine. Had pressure coming at him, but he was still able to get that off. Only a 1-yard gain. Watch the pressure coming from his back side. Actually, the front side. Hart. Good job by Dempsey Dees and rallying to the ball.
All right, 3rd down play. 3rd down and 9 for the Vandals. Welch. Here comes the blitz from the outside. And Welch goes down. He tried a couple of times to throw it, but good coverage by the Broncos in the secondary. And John just couldn't really pull the trigger.
Justin's in there, Justin Brown, Justin Howell, Zach Weber in there, Kopp in there, Altieri in there. I mean, just, name them, and they were there.
Well, Ben Davis will come on to try a field goal attempt, if that's what it looks like here.
52-yarder.
It'll be a long one, so you got to watch for a fake. Willie Alderson's the holder. Ben Davis, 9 of 14 on the year field goals. He's kicked game winners each of the last 2 weeks, but this is a dandy. This will be a long one.
It'll be from 52 yards. You just play defense here, and they're going to have to take a timeout.
So we'll take a break as well. Boise State leads at 21-0. We'll see what the Vandals do when we return to Bronco Stadium after this on the Bronco Television Network. Ben Davis being called on to try a 52-yard field goal attempt. Willie Alderson will hold.
Wayne, this is a situation where you just play defense. You expect the fake. If he makes a 52-yarder, so be it.
21-0. Boise State leads it. Idaho trying to get the goose egg off the board. Boy, that's got a lot of foot. I mean, that's got a lot of foot. And it's through. It had plenty to spare right down the pipe. So Ben Davis, a 52-yard field goal, and Idaho's on the board, 21-3.
You absolutely have to look for the fake in that situation. And Ben Davis, nobody questions the strength of that kid's leg. He's got a lot of foot. He's just been a little bit inconsistent. Let's go down to the sidelines to Jeff Cave.
I'll tell you what, a Weber's it is. The 1980 team is having their 20-year reunion. I'm here with Jim Kreiner, was the head football coach at Boise State in 1980. Coach, you got to be proud of all the guys you've seen this weekend.
I really am. It's been a tremendous weekend, and one of the things I think made me the proudest of all is the kind of condition they've kept themselves in. I think this group could probably go out and play a quarter.
Well, there's a couple more quarters to play here. You right now in Las Vegas with the XFL. How about any of these kids out here? Could Bart be a gambler or an outlaw?
Oh, no question about it. I think he's a big-time player, and he may get a chance to play in the big league before we'd have a shot at him.
We love you, Coach. I thank you for everything you've done for me and a lot of other kids.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. Believe me, this is a great place to have spent my time coaching, and the players and the fans have made it the most wonderful coaching days I've ever had.
Wayne?
All righty, thank you. I had a chance to visit with Jim yesterday as Brock Forsey takes a knee in the end zone, and Broncos will have it at the 20-yard line. And tell you what, Jim has not aged a bit, has he?
No, he hasn't. He even gave me one of his cards, his XFL cards. Imagine them being black and red. Imagine that.
He wants you as a player? I mean,
yeah, right.
Or as a coach?
He probably wants me to come down and buy some tickets.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I can't figure that one.
Vandal scoring drive. Only took a minute 36, 7 plays.
That was a strong field goal.
Boy, Davis is all pumped up, too. He kicked that ball 8 yards deep into the end zone.
He sure did. Bart Hendricks, by the next time he attempts a pass, he'll break another Boise State passing record for passes attempted. Another Hildy record will go down the wayside, and it should happen right here. Looking deep. And that's got to be some kind of pass interference. It is on Cleavon Bradshaw. The ball was intended for Brock Forsey.
Cleavon Bradshaw with the coverage there on Forsey. Bradshaw and D. Ross, I guess the designated stupid comment makers in the paper over the last week. Both of them making comments about the other teams that probably shouldn't end up in the paper, but hey, that's the way it goes. Let's watch the interference. Bradshaw doesn't turn back and look for the ball, but he does push Forsey down. You can see the right arm there, and that's going to get a call every time.
That was just like really D. Ross's
Pass
penalty.
interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Now, D at least looked back for the ball, but pushed off with two hands. Bradshaw didn't look back for the ball, but only pushed off with one.
Tom Cable in his first year with the Vandals. There's Cleavon Bradshaw, like you said. Really, every year one player starts talking about stuff, you know, and it's been pretty calm this year. But Cleavon said they were going to put a goose egg up on the board against Boise State today. It has not happened. And right now he's got a penalty against him. And that pass attempt, by the way, does not count. So Bart's still looking to break the record. Handoff to Brock Forsey, and he's met by Chris Nofowinga. Big play by Nofowinga.
The big middle linebacker, as you said in the pregame show, Wayne, the Big West Defensive Player of the Year last year. Well-deserved accolade. Strong, 223-pound, 5'10" senior out of Tacoma.
Second and 12 for Boise
He
State.
almost looked like a little version of Junior Seau on the sidelines before the game, you know, with his shirt off. And he's a well-put-together young man.
Loss of about 3. It's going to be second down and 13. A handoff. That's Forsey cutting up the middle. It was intended to go outside, but there was nothing there. Vandals had it well defended, and so Brock Forsey trying to make something. Maybe got back. I got about 2 back is all.
Rick Giampetri from his linebacker spot. So Nofowinga and Giampetri getting the job done from the middle backer spot. Bart with his daily 100 jogs back and forth to the sideline comes back to the huddle.
You're right. That alone would make me, tired. He goes over there, talks to Dirk Cutter after every play. This is a third down and 11 yards for Boise State. They got a lot of guys up on that line of scrimmage. It's the screen pass. Nice catch by Brock Forsey. There's going to be a flag down on the play. It'll be short of a first down. We'll check the laundry and see what it is.
Well, Lou Finuca's going to get called for a hold, but I don't think it's going to matter. They didn't get the first down, so they should decline it and allow Boise State to punt it away.
Again, a lot of pressure being brought by the Vandals, and Boise State, a little bit of that because the Broncos had that screen pass on.
Lou Finucci going to get called for the hold right there on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Holding Nofowinga. He's not out there to block, man. He's out there to catch touchdown passes.
It looks like Idaho is going to back him up. Actually, it would have been fourth down and probably about 5.
I think
they're talking it over.
I would imagine Dirk Cutter would, don't you think, with 4th and 5, punt the ball away?
Well, I think he would punt it away.
Holding on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still third down.
All right, what Idaho's playing here is a field position game. They even though Boise State will have a third down and long, unless they make some yardage. We're thinking Idaho's thinking they'll gain about 15 yards on the change of possession. So we'll see if it works. Third down and 21 for BSU. Jordan Kramer on the blitz. And they get to Mr. Hendricks. That pass just took too long. There may have been a fumble. Let's see. The officials acting like there's something going on down there. They're saying Idaho has the football.
Now the referee's pointing.
One's pointing one way, one's pointing the other way.
Boise State has the ball. They're going to punt. The ball pops out right there. You can see it come loose. Boise State retains possession and will punt. So the backing up on the penalty call. Good call by Tom Cable. It turns out they're going to pick up a good 20 yards on this punt.
Well, they just decided to bring the pressure on Bart. And now Jeff Edwards standing back on his 5-yard line. And Boise State doesn't have the right personnel in here. They still got plenty of time on the play clock, so no problem there. So Jeff Edwards back at his 5-yard line. Good snap, a lot of pressure. Just really, I tell you what, I think it was blocked. Could have been partially blocked. And Idaho's going to have great field position.
I think Bobby Gray might have come off the corner, number 25, and got a piece of that ball. Somebody got a piece of it. And Jeff Edwards just taking way too much time to get that ball. I mean, he had to know those guys were coming. Here's the snap. 25 will come off the top of your screen. Right there, gets a good chunk of the ball.
So great pressure by the Vandals, and that field position thing works in favor of Tom Cable and Idaho. They're down 21-3, but they've got great field position. They're at the Boise State 37. Welch throwing to Ethan Jones, complete. And we got a flag on the far side of the field, right at the line of scrimmage.
That ball delivered by Welsh right on the money, but right through the fingertips of Wes Nurse, who was playing underneath coverage there. Here's the call.
Illegal formation on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Now, when you're at the 37, you know, and you're the Bronco defense, you'll take every 5 yards you can get.
That's really almost a 10-yard turnaround because they gained 5 on that play.
We've got 11 and a half minutes to go here in the first half. Boise State leads Idaho 21-3. Well, straight drop back. Over the middle. Intercepted. Wes Nurse. Wes Nurse has a couple of blockers. There's a flag down. So remember that. And Wes Nurse is all the way back to the 37-yard line of Idaho. We've got a player down and a flag down. We'll check it all for you.
Now the player down is Belzer, the wide receiver who had just checked in, Christopher Belzer. The flag is back where you might think holding would be called, or illegal receiver downfield.
Either way, it looks like it's going to be against Idaho because the defense is coming out.
Christopher Belzer was a guy that came into this game banged up. He's still down on the turf. He took a big hit there as the ball was delivered high by Welsh, tipped off his fingertips and into the hands of Wes Nurse.
And it was holding against the Vandals, so they'll decline that. That's the tip drill that you work on in practice.
On the offense. That penalty is refused. First down.
Watch the scramble here and the high delivery by Welsh as he's rolling to his right, throws a little high. Receiver gets hit and comes down. Almost looked like came down on his head. Leg caught up, snapped his head back right there, and then Wes Nurse has got an escort of Sean Sandoval and Greg Sasser down to the sideline. Big yardage on the return.
So working on Belzer at the 31-yard line. That was a 32-yard return.
Well, his head really snapped back and hit that turf, Wayne, and boy, you just hate to see that. That turf is very unforgiving. Plus, the kid was banged up coming into the game anyway, gutty enough to get out here and play.
Yeah, he really was. He was listed as probable, but whenever you're listed as probable, you know, you never know, because that means you've got enough injury problems that coaches aren't sure whether you're going to be there or not. And
here's a little different angle of this. Watch the head snap back and hit the turf. Let me tell you, that doesn't feel good. I can assure you from personal experience that is not a pleasant feeling.
Well, we hope everything's okay there.
Western 61, Illinois 23. In the fourth quarter,
Christopher Belzer, a sophomore, and obviously they'll be taking a close look at him on the sideline, make sure that he knows exactly where he's at. Handoff. That is Brock Forsey, and Brock Forsey down to the 34-yard line.
Brock Forsey to the 35-yard line.
Holes look like they're big, and it looks like it should be 5-10-yard gains, and they're closing up rapidly. So this Vandal defense becoming a little stronger at the line of scrimmage and closing those holes up wasn't happening in the first part of the first quarter.
Panucci, Swilly, and Jeff Putz here, all in formation on a 2nd down and 8. Hendricks trying to get out of trouble. Now he does, but he gets back into trouble. So a lot of pressure being brought by the Vandals, and they're really coming after him, not giving him the time to throw, and that was the key for Idaho. Don't give Bart the chance to rip you apart with his passes.
Well, great opportunity to blitz there for the Vandals, and a good call by their defensive front. Take a look at the Larry Miller Subaru Mitsubishi Boise State trivia. In BSU's runner-up finish in 1994 in the 1AA playoffs, who are the three teams that they defeated before they lost to Youngstown State in the finale?
Well, I can tell you two of them. I do know all three of them. I know all three of them. I disqualify myself because I did all three of those. There's a pass out to Swilly. Going to be short of a first down, but it picks up a few yards. So Boise State now faced with a 4th down and 2. That pass a little too far for Swilly to catch it and run. He just had to kind of dive after it to get it.
Well, the Vandals, again, the play before caught Bart in a 5-step drop, and all his receivers were going deep. You know, if they're going to continue to blitz like that, you'll see Dirk Cutter change up and start to throw the quick 3-step, 1-step drops, short routes to try to combat that blitz if that's going to be a continued strategy by the Vandals.
Well, talk about rolling the dice a little bit here. Forget Kaliakai. He got one of the best kickers. That would be a long field goal for him, so they're going to go for it on 4th down and 2. Malafong in motion. The pass complete to Snelling. And Snelling is down to the 11-yard line. First down for Boise State. And we have another Vandal down. We've got another flag down. The flag went down after Snelling went down at the 11-yard line, so I'm not sure if it's a unsportsmanlike conduct or what.
Will Beck is the guy down on the field, number 91 for the Vandals, and Matt Hill and he were going at it behind the line of scrimmage. I really am not sure what happened, but Beck is in deep pain, and that right knee doesn't look too good.
And it was a clip, and it's going to be against Boise State.
Now, Matt Hill was the only guy left in the backfield when this happened, so I'm not sure if he was the guy that actually did this or not. But Snelling, you can see, takes the ball and runs over the top.
Thing of it is, that was about 15 yards. There they are. Look, they're way out of the play. Still going after it. Now, the hit happened right about there. He's down at the 11, and the hit then happens way back at the 29-yard line. You talk about discipline and not showing it. Both teams displaying a lack of discipline in this ballgame.
Personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
The Broncos get a first down out of it because it was so late.
Yeah, it was dead ball, so it was after the tackle had been made on Snelling at the 11. But they did get the first down.
Yeah, they're working on Beck now. So the good news is Broncos got a first down if you're a Bronco fan. The bad news is that it's going to back it up, and it takes a lot of your momentum away. We've seen a couple of unsportsmanlike, even though that one was more of a clip-type call, but I tell you, you just got to be careful. So Will Beck being helped off. And it'll be a first down for the Broncos. 4 penalties for BSU now, 55 yards. So the penalties starting to rack up on BSU's side.
Number 93, Brian Howard, will check into the game. A freshman out of Kent, Washington, 6'2", 260-pounder, will take over Will Beck's spot.
Placement of the ball at the 26-yard line. Over the middle, Andre Banks, touchdown. Banks checking into the game, checking in with a TD.
Andre Banks, part of our opening highlight reel from last week against Utah State, caught a ball in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. Takes one right straight up the middle of the formation for another Bronco touchdown. Watch Banks come out of the right side of your screen. He'll just go to the post. There's nobody near him. Dennis Gibbs was the closest person to him, but he wasn't too close.
So now Nikolai Kai comes on, 8:36 to go here in the second quarter. And the Broncos have increased their lead to 25 points here at Bronco Stadium. Bart Hendricks, Andre Banks. It's 28-3, Boise State. We'll be back on the Bronco Television Network. Corey Banks just caught that touchdown pass from Bart Hendricks, and Brett Thompson getting ready to kick it off. And, hey, Appalachian State, North Texas, and Marshall.
Very good, Wayno. You are correct. Round one against North Texas, then Appalachian State, and then a big win against Marshall on a frigid day at Bronco Stadium.
Jordan Kramer met at the 21-yard line before he is brought down. Boise State now working on that time of possession thing. They're up to 9 minutes. They're only 3 minutes below Idaho, but they're up by 25. So, when coaches say that time of possession doesn't mean a darn thing, it really doesn't.
Well, they're right in this case, that's for sure.
That was a 5-play, 37-yard drive. It took 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
At the 22.
So John Welsh coming out. 8:27 to go here in the first half, and Boise State up by 25. Straight drop back. Plenty of time. Now he just dumps it to Willie Alderson. And the Broncos get him after a 9-yard gain. Chenard Hartz makes the stop.
Well, when Walsh starts running around back there, you certainly have the same dilemma you have with Bart Hendricks. You never know when he's just going to tuck it under and run. But he saw Willie Alderson out there with an easy 9-yard gain.
Second down and 1. And Alderson gets the call, gets the first down, but not much more. Jeff Cave's got an injury update for us. Jeff, what's up?
Christopher Belzer turned out to be a lower back issue. I think he's going to try to get back in the football game. More importantly, Will Beck as well. He looked pretty good on the sideline to get back out there. The emotional management of the Vandal bench, though, is interesting. I think they're really struggling with what's going on the field. It looks like they're almost getting bugged. It'll be an interesting halftime. Wayne?
All right, thank you, Jeff, and that's good news on Belzer. Anytime you see a guy hit his head like that, you think the worst, and that's good to know that it's more of a back thing than anything else. Alderson, sweep, and he is met. And Zach Weber is there, but Quentin Michael coming up from a safety spot. Broncos everywhere.
Number 9 and number 97 combined to make that play. Sophomore and senior. Michael the sophomore, Weber the senior. Talked to Zach's dad yesterday afternoon at down at the Sports Zone at Jeff Cave's radio program, actually, and he's traveled to every game this year to watch Zach play. I mean, that's talk about true spirit of the fatherhood. Zach's dad's been to every game.
Second down and long. Welch throwing. Knocked away at the last second. A great move there by Boise State.
Dempsey Dees.
I couldn't pick up a number. So Dempsey Dees, the man, and Jeff Welch had to throw under fire.
Well, and Dees almost picked that ball off. He had his hands on it. Tried to bring it in. Not the kind of a year that Dempsey probably envisioned for his senior year with only, I believe, 1 interception. Had his hands on the ball right there. But boy, they've come his way a lot this year. And they're continuing to come at him again today. Third and 12.
Welch again. Sack. And that's Chenard Hartz. Got in there in a hurry and took care of it.
Almost a delayed blitz that time from Hartz. He went out, bumped the back that was coming out of the backfield, and then slid back to the inside to make the sack on Welsh. The senior having a big game today. We called his number at the start of the game as a guy that was going to be out for blood today, and he gets Welsh all by himself. The unassisted tackle for loss for Chenard Hartz.
All right, Tim Sam's on to kick it away, standing at his 14. End over end kick. We got a flag down. Quentin Michael has the football.
And another flag.
All kinds of flags. We've got, I'll tell you what, we got at least 3 flags out there, so we'll just let them straighten it out.
Well, there was a hold first, and then Dempsey Dees clipped one of the outside guys coming around the corner. So we'll be backing this one up a long ways.
It's always tough when the officials get together and say, okay, which one was the worst penalty we can give?
I think the clip will probably be the one that's the overriding factor here.
Yeah, it's going to back the Broncos up a little bit. It's like the Florida Supreme Court meeting out there. You're right. They're going to call the holding one. Uh-oh. Here's the push in the back. That one's declined, so you're right.
Well, whatever it was, they're starting at their 38-yard line. There's the offender. Mr. Dempsey Bees is the offender in the block in the back.
They're backing it up even worse.
But that actually was the one they didn't call.
On the receiving team, that penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick, during the kick, block in the back on the return team. That penalty will be refused. First down.
You know, that explanation almost fell into the category of delay a game. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get out of here for a couple seconds. We'll be back. 6:04 to go here in the first half. 28-3, Boise State.
Coming up at halftime, the Chili's halftime reports. We'll have all the first half stats, have some highlights for you. Might even show you some other games that are going on out there in the big wide world besides this grudge match here in Boise.
Crowd here today, 30,856. Boise State with the first down and 10 after all those flags, and Bart Hendricks looking. Throwing for Fanucchi. He has it. And Fanucchi has the first down, but he had to come back to get it and fell down. And Lou, you can hear the crowd going, Lou.
You sure that's not a boo?
I'm almost sure about that. Here, how about that stat right there, huh?
It pretty much tells the story, and that gives you an idea why it's 28-3 right there. Lou Fanucchi again coming all the way across the field from the right side of the formation, all the way across the field. Bart leads him a little bit too much and a little short, and Fanucci made sure to catch first, which is a smart thing to do.
So a big gain for Boise State. They're at the 43-yard line of Idaho. Fanucchi in motion, and Hendricks again. Stepping up in the pocket, has Fanucchi, and he's knocked down, incomplete. Good recover there by Cleavon Bradshaw. He got back to it and at least scooped the play up.
Bradshaw got in there, got his hands in. If that ball leads Fanucchi just a little bit more, Bradshaw won't be able to get there. Cleavon Bradshaw with good recovery speed got there to break it up.
Broncos looking at a second down now. Again, Bart Hendricks, he makes that trek over to Dirk Cutter, gets the information, comes back.
Guy's a running machine.
Second down and 10. Rob Snelling in motion, the tight end. Handoff to Brock Forsey. He goes off right tackle for a couple of yards to the 40.
Forsey not able to rip off some of the big gainers that we've seen earlier in the year on this Vandal defense. They're doing a good job of keeping him in check, especially in the second quarter. They haven't been able to keep the passing game in check. They've been able to keep Brock Forsey in check.
Third down call here. Boise State just shy of the 40-yard line. Third down and 7. Hendricks, the quick throw to Swilly. Jay Swilly dancing around, almost lost the ball, and it's down by contact with the blue turf. He lost it the second time. Short of the first down, but it's an interesting call again. Boise State will have fourth and about 2, maybe a yard and a half. And they're pretty much out of Kalaikai's field goal range because there is a breeze coming in from the northwest.
Swilly with a nice stretch to make the catch. Let's see if we can see the ball pop out here. There it is once. And he really got it back, but then he tried to stretch out again and lost it.
Then his knee was down by contact, not the ball. Fourth and 1. Boise State going for it. Fanucchi in motion. Hendricks dropping back, got Snelling. Has it. Touchdown.
What an awesome play. Bart Hendricks fakes the speed option. Takes 2 steps down the line of scrimmage, drops back 3 yards, and flips the ball out to Snelling, who was really pretty wide open. The ball a little bit underthrown, but Snelling able to drag his man into the end zone. Talk about gutsy to Zuback. Cutter's pulling them all out today.
He sure is, and you could see Snelling break loose from the get-go. It was just a matter of whether or not it would get there, and it did. And Boise stayed up 34-3. Nick Kalaikai on to try the extra point attempt. And like always, it's through. He was 8 of 8 last week, and he's 5 of 5 today. And look at this.
Bart Hendricks tying the BSU record, 33 touchdown passes in the season. He leads the nation there. Also, in attempted passes, he's gone by that record of Tony Hildy, so he's broken yet another career passing record.
There you saw the speed option fake, and then he just comes back with a good job to make that block, and Jordan Kramer just can't stay with Snelling.
You know, I tell you what, that feeling is the worst feeling. You're number 43 running after a guy that's got you beat, and you go, oh my goodness gracious.
And we saw Hendricks break a Hildy record just a minute ago. Now he is tied with Jim McMillan. They're the big three in quarterback history.
Yeah, that was a great article in the paper the other day. I do have to say that on Friday morning, got up, and just a great article on Bart Hendricks and what he's done, and going back on those three quarterbacks, Jim McMillan, Tony Hildy, and Bart Hendricks. 5-play, 72-yard drive, a minute 56, and with 4:08 to go here at Bronco Stadium in the first half, it is Boise State leading it 35-3, and the Broncos will kick off. Bart is 9 of 12 passing for 223 yards and 3 touchdowns. Let's go down to Jeff Games.
You know, Wayne, Dirk Cutter is a pretty wound-tight guy during the football season, and I think you work with him as much as anybody. And doing coaching shows with Paul J on KBOI, and we're around him so much. I really believe that these 3 hours every week is the only place he feels true adrenaline joy. I mean, the guy just lets loose on that play. If you could have seen the enjoyment on his face and bottled it, I know there's times...
Penalty will be declined. First down.
I know there's times I'd like to bring it back out. It's just hard to see Dirk that happy any other time during the season, but on Saturday. Wayne?
Thank you, Jeff. And there was offside on Boise State, but a nice return by Jordan Kramer, and Idaho will take the ball where they have it. Willie Alderson today, 11 carries, 32 yards. So
well below that 5.2-yard average that came into the game.
They've really pretty much held him in check. Well, has the time, thrown over the middle, wide open. That's Chris Lacey. Lacey making a nice move to the outside, and a nice little play by the Idaho Vandals. They've got a big first down. They needed something like that. That's at the 32.
Broncos with a few new players in the ball game. Dane Oldham in at the defensive line. Mike Phillips in at the defensive end. You take a look at some Sinclair update scoreboard scores. Boy, Houston Nutt having a little trouble down there in Arkansas the last half of this year, hasn't he?
First down for the Vandals. Willie Alderson in motion. No back attack right now. Welsh. Again, some good coverage. Now trying to find somebody, and he's going to run. Stays in bounds and finally gets out of bounds and he gets a first down at the 15-yard line. So great coverage. That's the good news, but John Welsh making something happen. 17 yards on the play by Welsh.
Well, it's not many times today he was going to pull the ball down and run with it, and finally that happens. Again, he's got all day to throw the ball. 7, 8 seconds, nobody open. Good coverage by the Broncos. But with that good coverage comes open territory for a mobile quarterback, and John Welsh certainly is that.
First and 10 at the 15-yard line now. Idaho's biggest threat. Over the middle. Complete to Chris Lacey, and he was wide open. Somebody missed him. Quentin Michael came over there and make the stop. It'll be just right at the first down marker. So it'll be shot. It'll be second down and about a yard for a first down.
Lacey gets it down to the 6. Obviously the deepest penetration. Here's an isolation shot with Chris Lacey coming across the middle there. Sets down right in the middle of the field. And a sure tackle by Quentin Michael.
Not much of a route there. He just found a soft spot in the defense. So second down and a yard, but it's at the 6-yard line. In the corner of the end zone. And that is caught for a touchdown.
I think that's Ethan Evans. Excuse me, Ethan Jones.
It is. He went into the crowd. I couldn't see him down there, but touchdown for Idaho. Their first of the day.
Jones just runs the fade route to the corner of the end zone, and Welsh lays it out there perfectly to him. Let this ball come right down on top of Jones. See if he gets his leg down right there. Touchdown. Good call.
So 35-9 our score with 2:54 to go here in the first half. And it
kick by Ben Davis is good. 35-10, Boise State's lead, cut back to 25.
Well, the Vandals certainly needed something to get them out of their doldrums, and that John Welsh scramble, the first thing to get them going. A couple of nice pass plays, and a beautiful fade route into the end zone might give the Vandals a little bit more oomph going into that locker room down 35-10, although still 3 minutes left. And, you know, how many of these drives for Boise State have been less than 2 minutes? You know, we don't need much time.
Yeah, one of the things they did here today, by the way, Toys for Tots, they had everybody try to bring in some toys, leave them out front, and it's that time of year again, getting ready for the holidays. And remember, just because they had the game here, and if you didn't bring a toy down here, if you're at home would like to contribute to Toys for Tots, we're big at Channel 2 in Boise at that, and you can certainly bring them down and leave them off at the station.
And they were also giving away toys for older guys. They had a Idaho lottery promotion for the game where they had big giant scratch-off tickets, and they gave away a Jeep.
Yeah, some lady from Salmon won a Jeep today.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So toys for oldsters too.
You got it.
Toys for tots.
All right, there's onside kick attempt, and it's good. Idaho coming up with the onside kick, just pooching it over there, and the man that caught it was Patrick Libby, and the Vandals pulling a trick out of the Dirk Cutter page from last year.
Watch this kick. This is a... Now remember, Ben Davis is a soccer player. He's a right-footed kicker, but soccer players can kick with either foot. That is perfectly executed by the Vandals.
Yeah, that was an absolutely gorgeous onside kick.
The only bad thing he did was go down on a knee. If he caught that thing on the fly, he'd still be running.
I think he just wanted to catch it, you know? So we'll see now if the Vandals can make the most of this. They're down 35-10. And got it right back. And John Welch just kind of went through Bronco defense with ease. Here comes the Boise State pressure. Up over the middle. Intercepted by Shenard Hartz. What a play on the ball by Shenard. There's a Bronco down.
Oh, and he's got, I think that's Zach Weber. He's got a bad-looking left knee. I don't think that's going to be good.
Actually, it's not Zach Weber. It's Justin Howell.
Is it Howell?
Justin Brown.
47?
47. And that whole leg is kind of turned a different way, and I won't go any further than that.
That didn't look too good.
But Shenard Hartz, what a break on the ball he made to come up with the interception, but now Justin Brown is the key.
Justin Brown, kind of a hard-luck guy against the Vandals. He was hurt, had a concussion last year up in Pullman against them. Look at the break on the ball by Shenard. You're right, Wayne. That is just an incredible timing play. Cuts right in front of Jeff Franks. And that's huge for the Broncos, but even more huge is Justin Brown down at the 43-yard line.
Well, that's when you know it's not a good injury, when team members are getting down, your defensive side huddling in an impromptu prayer for their teammate Justin Brown.
Yeah, this is going to take a while because you're right, there was some very contorted look to that leg, which either means a nasty knee injury or a possible dislocated knee or even a broken leg. I mean, you can speculate all you want, but it was not good. Sophomore out of Fullerton, California. Again, sustained a concussion last year against the Vandals.
See what they're doing? They're working around him right now. But in fact, Vandal folks are over there as well. They're gonna bring the stretcher in and bring the ambulance in, folks, because they, like I say, this is something here that you just have to go ahead and on the good side of it, you know, you're not talking about a head injury or anything like that, so that's good. You're not talking about any spinal injuries, but we're definitely got a leg problem here.
Now they're waving off the ambulance.
Let's see what happens. Let's go down to Jeff Caves. Jeff, what's up?
Scary situation when you have players instantly going down. I don't know if you're able to catch it on camera, but Dirk Cutter did look over at the sideline, gave the kids the thumbs up, so that gives them moments of relief. We don't know the details, but we'll certainly get those, and we'll follow up on injuries on both sides. We're expecting to be able to talk to Coach Cable here at the end of the second quarter, get a preview of what's coming up. We'll talk to Dirk at the half. Before we start the third quarter, we'll give you the report from the Boise State sideline. So a lot of things to do, plus the 1980 team is honored at halftime. Big crowd, and we'll hope for the best here in just a couple of minutes. Wayne?
All right, it looks like they are bringing a stretcher out. They're bringing another vehicle out. They don't need the ambulance. See, that's the good news. They don't need the ambulance. The problem is we don't know how severe it is. It's a leg injury, so
You know, you're not talking head or spinal, and that's good. You're talking leg. That's not good if you're Justin Brown because you want to continue to play, so they're going to have to take him off the field. But, you know, the big thing is that you want a player to be okay to play another day.
Keep it going. Keep that ball.
Well, that's going to mean that LeGarry Mitchell, the redshirt freshman, number 34, we've already seen him make some impact today, is going to be called upon to make more impact. Justin Brown last year as a freshman was asked to do the same thing in this game against the Vandals up in Pullman. So I guess what goes around comes around, and they're going to take him in, luckily, with the Idaho Sports Medicine Institute right here on campus. That almost to me looks like he might have dislocated that knee, Wayne, because he's stood up on the other leg. I guess if there is a good turnout to this, this is about as good as it could be. But they'll take him over to the Sports Medicine Institute. They have x-ray equipment over there. They've got all the latest gear, and they can take a look at him immediately. They don't have to take him to the hospital.
Again, the situation here, Justin Brown being worked on. Boise State leading 35-10 with 2:44 to go in the first half. And after Idaho had scored a touchdown to cut the lead, Boise State's lead to 25 points. They tried the onside kick, worked perfectly. They had the ball, and on the very first play, Chenard Hartz intercepts the pass, and here's the hand for Justin Brown as he is driven off the field. $30,856 on hand for this ball game, and the Boise State Broncos will have the football at the 49-yard line of Idaho. All right, we're ready for play. We'll keep you updated on Justin Brown's condition if indeed it makes its way up here to the press box. Hendricks looking, throwing to Jay Swilly, and Jay's head he has a first down, but I thought he lost a helmet there for a second.
I think the only thing he lost there, Wayne, was his footing.
Is that what it was? I thought I saw a helmet go.
Sinclair update board. Northwestern with a huge victory over Illinois. Wolverines ahead in the fourth quarter.
Jay Swilly came into this game of his 27 catches, 25 for first down. He's caught 2 today, so one of them for a first down. Hendricks slips and falls.
There's that wet spot I was talking about. It's the only one on the field, and it just happened to be the exact place where Bart Hendricks went back to set up.
Yep, you can see it happening. Had a couple of high school playoff games here on the blue turf yesterday. I went to the one last night. Century of Pocatello, completing an undefeated season, beat Valley View 14-7, and it was cold. And there you can see the moisture.
It's the only wet spot on the entire field.
So it's second down and long now for the Broncos. Quick pressure inside to Fanucchi, and he's going to be stopped at the original line of scrimmage. That's a quick gain of about 6 yards.
Levon Bradshaw with a nice form tackle. Caught Fanucci up in the air and drilled him into the turf. As you take a look at our Taco Bell 2-minute clock. Continue to pop up during the rest of this half to show you how much time's left.
Broncos with a third down and 9. They've got that 35-10 lead, but more importantly for them, they've got the football. Hendricks. Pressure. Steps out, gets it to Swilly, and Swilly is knocked down after a gain of a yard. Broncos faced with another fourth down in an area, Larry, where really it's almost too far for Nick Kalika to try a field goal. Jeff Caves with an injury update. What do you have for us?
Well, it was good news, relatively, but Justin Brown has a dislocated knee. Nothing worse than that. We'll see how severe it is. Talk to Dr. George Wade and Gary Kriener about that. Hopefully I can update you in the third quarter. Wayne?
I'll tell you what, we saw it was dislocated from up here. It was discombobulated too. But fortunately, those things can heal. That's good.
Well, they'll get in there and take an x-ray of it, see if there is any interior damage. Even with the dislocation, you can see once in a while there's still ligament or cartilage damage.
Boise State thinking about fourth down. They're 2-2 on fourth downs today. This will be their third fourth down attempt, but they're going to call a timeout to figure it out. With 30 seconds left to go here in the first half, you really lose nothing by going for it on fourth down at this juncture of the game. Broncos 21 points in the first quarter. Another 14 here in the second.
Let's take a look at our next broadcast on the Bronco Television Network. We changed to go indoors, Wayne. We get to cover a little basketball on January 4th as the Broncos travel down to Santa Barbara to take on the Gauchos.
You know, this means we got to wear shorts when we're doing basketball now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, right.
Sandals and shorts?
That would be one ugly sight.
And a shirt and tie?
That would be one ugly sight.
Well, it'd fit right in Southern California.
Well, the Broncos, speaking of basketball, Boise State basketball season opening tonight in Cincinnati.
Are they opening tonight?
They're opening tonight. We'll see what happens, you know. Let's hope it's not an opening and a closing in the same night, you know.
Man, tough first two games, huh?
Of course, it gets easier Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got number 18 Cincinnati and I think number 4 Kansas on Monday
night. Yeah.
Ouch.
Broncos come home, and in their first home game will be against Albertson College here next Friday night at the BSU Pavilion.
Well, Dirk Cutter is not sending out the field goal team. It would be about a 52 to 53-yard attempt anyway, way beyond Kalaikai.
Exactly.
But in Brent Thompson's range. I saw him hit some 55-yarders before the game.
Thing of it is, try to keep the ball, run the clock out with 30 seconds to go and a half. Bart Hendricks throws to Swilly. Complete. That's a first down. Broncos 3 for 3 on fourth down conversions, and they have it at the 14-yard line with 25 seconds to go. Boise State has one timeout left.
Truly amazing, isn't it, the offense that Dirk Cutter can produce in a half of football?
That's 5 catches for Swilly. 2 of them have been for first down.
And here's the short rollout, kind of a little wobbler, which you don't see out of Bart very often, but it was right on the money.
First and 10 at the 14-yard line. Vandals showing blitz. They bring in everybody. Everybody's picked up. Screen to Snelling. Touchdown. Boy, they brought everybody. The Vandals played into that play right there.
Bart Hendricks, absolutely the leading career or season touchdown pass holder now, passing Jim McMillan. 34 touchdown passes, and he's still got a half a football to go.
41-10, Boise State.
Everybody's looking right. Everybody's looking right. You're right, the blitz was coming. There came Will back up the middle, but nobody's got Snelling again. As he releases out, Jim Petrie tries to get him, but he's in the end zone before he can get there.
Good thing he didn't have another yard to get there. Snelling, 4 receptions, 112 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So Rob Snelling getting it done today, as are the Broncos, with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Boise State 42, Idaho 10 here at Bronco Stadium. And Bart Hendricks, here's a guy finalist for the Johnny Unitas Award with some pretty heady company. I mean, Marcus Tuiasosopo from Washington, Drew Brees of Purdue, Chris Winkie from Florida State. Wow, a lot of good people up there. I'm missing one guy. I can't remember who it is right now off the top of my head. And Bart
Hipple from Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah. How can I forget Josh Huffle after he dismantled my Huskers?
Crushed your Huskers into the dust.
Oh, that's right. Not only that, I've got Kermit in the truck to remind me who's an Oklahoma fan. So all the people to forget, today's not the day.
You should not need any help with that.
No, I know I'll get help from the truck on that.
Now, Wayne, look at this scoreboard. Isn't this the scoreboard you normally see at the end of a game?
It's unbelievable. I mean, the Broncos have averaged 50.1 points per game in Big West play, Larry. They've got 42 here at halftime.
Absolutely phenomenal offensive output. You know, we've heard all the rumors bouncing around as you take a look at this palatial studio we're in up here.
Well, there we are.
About Dirk Cutter, you know, being rumored for this job and being rumored for that job. Well, the way this guy coaches, why wouldn't he be rumored for every job in the country?
Little sky kick, fair catch called for at the 23-yard line, and that's where the Vandals will start with 17 seconds to go. That's a smart play right there. You don't want to do much, and Nate Griffin, a fullback, playing on the special teams right now. He's just a freshman.
See, I think the kickoff team revolts after a while and says, listen, we've had enough of this stuff. Let's do one of those little pooch-over kicks so we don't have to go down and break up a wedge every time. I mean, think about how many times these guys go down on a kickoff during the course of a game.
Well, during this Big West season, I'll tell you the Revolters have been the cheerleaders for Boise State. Last week, because they keep doing these cheerleaders, they did 800-some-odd push-ups.
You guys are going to be professional weightlifters by the time they get down. They're going to have rock-solid upper bodies.
Well, let's see what John Welch and company tries to do. They hand it off to Willie Alderson, and they're going to run this clock out and get out of here. They're down 42-10. That'll be the last play of the first half. What a first half for Bart Hendricks and company. Boise State 42 first half points. Bart Hendricks has set 2, maybe make it 3 different records here in this first half. And the Broncos, with 30,800 fans on hand for the game, head to the locker room up by 32.
Jeff Caves is going to try to have a word with Tom Cable on the way off the field. I'm not sure if he'll be real receptive to that. We'll find out here in just a second.
Well, I wouldn't blame Tom if he didn't want to talk, but we'll see if he does or not. And we'll hold on and see what Tom has to say. In his first year as head coach of the Idaho Vandals, he is. So let's go down to Jeff Caves.
Coach, what's your reaction to how the game started and where it is now?
Well, it's very much fun. I mean, we're not making any plays on the inside of the ball. We have one drive offensively and we turned it over a bunch. But, you know, defensively, we just got to cover. You're supposed to cover and get home, basically. We're not doing that.
It seems like there's a lot of penalties in the first half, some late hitting going on. Are you happy with what's happening?
Well, no, you know, we need to settle down. I think both teams are doing a lot of that, but really the second quarter was a lot better. And so we got to come back out and get after it.
Thanks a lot, Coach. All right, Tom Cable, flashback at half, Wayne.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Tom Cable. I'm not sure if I were a coach that I'd be talking at halftime. 42-10, Boise State leads it. Rob Snelling, a big touchdown. He has 2 of them tonight. We'll be back on the Bronco Television Network. We are back here at Bronco Stadium. Boise State leading at 42-10 over the Idaho Vandals at the break. Wayne DeZubak along with Larry Pulowski. And I'll tell you, when you walk around this press box, everybody talking about the numbers that Bart Hendricks has put up. 4 touchdowns today, 34 touchdown passes in a season. He's 5 behind Brian Sipe, who holds the Big West single-season record when he was playing for San Diego State many years ago. I don't think Bart can grab that, but you know what? Who knows with him?
You said it earlier, never say never. This has been an incredible offensive performance for the Broncos and a very good defensive performance. 3 interceptions, big-time defensive rally to the football. But as we walk around this press box, all you see are heads shaking. They cannot believe the stats that they see on the halftime stat sheet. That computer must be burning up right now.
Well, if we're going to get to the third quarter, we got to do some highlights for you, because if we don't, we'll never get there, because there were a lot of first-half highlights, and they were all Boise State, and they started off in a hurry with Lou Fanucchi.
Well, again, running across the formation on the safety, that's a good deal for the Broncos and a good matchup.
And then again, Bart Hendricks handing the ball off to Brock Forsey. Look at this guy go.
Forsey untouched pretty much into the end zone. Great block by Jeff Letzier.
Broncos with 318 total yards in the first half, and here goes Bart calling his own number.
Yeah, he likes that speed option. He likes to take it to the end zone. He's found that orange end zone a lot, hasn't he?
21 first quarter points, 21-0. Boise State, more coming up.
How about Andre Banks? A little post route right up the middle. Caught a touchdown last week, got another one today.
That was Andre Banks' first play. Came off the bench, scored a touchdown, and then right before the half to Rob Snelling, who had 2 TDs.
Nasty 4th down conversion there. Rob Snelling, Mr. Touchdown today.
And then, of course, Idaho comes back. They throw it over to Ethan Jones in the corner of the end zone.
That's a great catch. And look at him get his left foot down just before he got out of the end zone. Great call there by the officials. That's one of the best plays we've seen out of the Vandals today.
You bet. And more Bronco action right here. Rob Snelling, bingo. Like I said, Snelling with 4 catches, 2 touchdowns, 112 yards in offense for Snelling. And passing 281 yards. Boise State 318 yards total offense in the first half.
I mean, those are phenomenal numbers. And you look at the first downs with 14 first downs, only the 1 turnover for the Broncos, but the 3 interceptions on the other side of the ball. Just been a tremendous offensive output overall for the Broncos in this first half. 42 points, Wayne. I can't remember the last time I've ever seen a halftime score with 40 on the board.
Well, the Broncos are averaging 50 in Big West play, but 42 at halftime is impressive indeed. We're getting ready for the third quarter here at Bronco Stadium, and I'll tell you what, Boise State, I guess they're going to get the ball here to start the third quarter, come out, and try to regain the momentum.
Well, I think the Broncos really are not going to change a whole lot. They're just going to try to stay focused. Now, you're in the other locker room. What do the Idaho Vandals do at this point in time? You saw Tom Cable talk to Jeff Caves on the way off the field, which I have to give the guy credit. That's a hard thing to do because that's a difficult situation that he's put himself in and his team's put him in. So, what do you tell these guys at halftime? I don't know what you tell them. I really don't.
Try to go out and win the second half, I guess.
It's almost an impossible situation to get the kids to believe in, but you've still got to come out. You've got to play the second half, and you've got to do whatever you can do to salvage some pride.
All right, third quarter coming up. We'll be back with the kickoff. Again, Boise State leads it 42-10 here at halftime. Welcome back, everybody. 42-10 at halftime. Let's go down to Jeff Caves on the sidelines.
Well, you know, this is the 11th week of the season. You'd think I'd have it down by now. The one critical game of the year, Dirk Cutter ran right by me. He has got his game face on. You'd have thought they were down. I mean, these guys will come out and literally do the same things they did in the first half. I will get you an injury update, though. You'll have to pardon that 1AA 1980 championship celebration. I'm still in a little bit of euphoria. Wayne?
Yeah, nice jacket you got there, too, by the way. You know, let me give you an idea of Bart Hendricks. What kind of an afternoon has he had? His efficiency rating on the year is 164. Mr. Pulowski, his efficiency rating in the first half is what?
299.
299.
299. Oh.
Ball hits. David Michael takes it on one hop. And he's hit right at the 20-yard line. So a short kick in the breeze that has picked up a little bit. Oregon State, by the way, leads Oregon 17-7 in that Civil War over in Corvallis. Oregon State, for real. Former Vandal coach Dennis Erickson has the Beavers going, and of course a former Miami coach and a former Seattle coach.
He's been a former a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
Former Wyoming coach,
exactly.
Former Washington State coach.
Go through the whole thing, can't you? You got to be a pretty good coach when everybody knows what your formers are. You can name a guy's 8 formers, you're in pretty good shape.
From what I hear, he might be the former Oregon State coach after today, too.
Yeah, there you go. 42-10, Broncos lead it. Wayne Zubak, Larry Pulowski with you here in the third quarter. And Brock Dorsey, the handoff, gets about a yard. And I guess the key always when you're up in a game like this and everybody's talking about the wows of the first half, to come back and in the second half, I think as a team what you want to do is maintain control, not do anything wrong, not make any turnovers, and just get this thing done with as quickly as possible.
Well, you certainly don't want to go to sleep, and you don't want to get out of that rhythm. And they've got you to where you are. And Dirk Cutter has been accused sometimes of becoming a little bit conservative when he gets a big lead, but I'm not so sure that'll happen today.
Lou Finucci in motion, and Hendricks with a play-action fake. Steps up out of the pocket, lets it fly, and can't get it to Finucci. But I'll tell you what, Bart was under a hill of pressure, and Mike Jones, a 6'3 sophomore out of Lewiston, made the stop on him.
Yeah, he ended up under all 280 pounds of Mike Jones also. Bart, little play-action fake up the middle, and he kind of gets forced out of the pocket to his right. Push sends him up, but Jones just drills him right in the chest and then puts him into the turf.
Until that pass, Bart had completed 7 in a row. So third down and 9 for the Broncos. Right over the middle. Finucci, very close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it.
And that mark will give him the first down.
Completion 84, Lou Finucci.
That's a good spot. They drug him back, tried to get him back behind that first down marker, but those guys in the striped shirts were a little too smart for that. Just a quick in route. You go down 3 yards, you cut to the inside on a slant. You see him trying to push him back. Iggy Avero with the tackle. New faces out there for this Vandal defense.
Ball at the 33-yard line. Broncos do get the first down. And again, Bart Hendricks now looking deep. Has Swilly.
Oh, my.
He is at the 43-yard line, out of bounds. First down.
And that's another Jay Swilly.
First down, yes. Mr. First Down, they call him. He has 6 receptions now, and 3 of them have been first downs. And we mentioned that he came into the game with 27 receptions, 25 for first down.
Watch this catch. He catches back half of the ball on that one. Great stretch.
Again, Bart Hendricks leading him just a little bit too much. I mean, if you want to be critical, he catches that in stride, he could go. Still, that's a first down at the 43-yard line of Idaho, and the Broncos right back in business. Hand off to Brock Dorsey. Dorsey's got the corner, puts the shoulder down, gets 12. That's just their power sweep.
Well, the Vandal defense is pretty beat up in that front. They're okay when you're going right at them. I mean, they can hold up the front there, but when they have to move laterally, they really have a lot of trouble. And the Broncos are doing a good job of sealing off the corner, sealing off the end to get guys outside. Not much yardage for the running game up the middle, but they've been pretty successful going around in.
Brock Dorsey coming into this game, 188 all-purpose yards per game. I mean, when you're averaging right up around 200 all-purpose yards per game, I mean, that's why the Broncos, really one of the main reasons why they continue to win. Dorsey has a block, has another first down, gain of 11. So in 2 carries, he's gained 23 yards.
Rick Giampetri with the tackle on Forsey to save the touchdown because Forsey was headed to the end zone if Giampetri doesn't make that tackle.
You know, from an Idaho standpoint, this is exactly what the Vandals did not want to have happen, is have Boise State come out and drive right down the field, score a touchdown. 12 carries now for 62 yards for Brock Forsey.
We had a shot there of that elusive Dirk Cutter that got away from Caves at halftime.
I think he's just running from Caves. I hear there's people that do that. Andre Banks in motion. Hendricks finally lets it go. Knocked away nicely. A good defensive play as the Bart really couldn't find anything. Duval Seamster came up and made the play.
Good break on the ball by Seamster.
Got a flag at the 5-yard line. I'm not sure.
The pass was incomplete.
Okay, I just got told it could be 12 guys. That would be illegal.
Well, they have 12 out there right now.
Yeah, so there you go. Okay,
so no wonder Seamster made a great play. He was the 12th man. If you count them now, as Seamster comes off, there are 11, which is the proper number of people to put on a football field, assuming you're not playing 8-man football or Canadian football.
Wow, that's a big one.
Half the distance.
Yeah. That was a 10-yarder. Yep, illegal participation is the call. Tom Cable, I'm sure he's had happier days. So first down and 10 for Boise State, just outside the 10-yard line. So one of those long first and goals, if you will. And Hendricks, quarterback draw. And a fumble. Scramble for it.
Broncos got it back. They're signaling second down. Ball at the 5.
You know, Bart didn't have that much yardage, so the fumble forward, you know, he actually got 5, a couple of 3 yards on the fumble. So everything's going right for Bart Hendricks right now. And that fumble right there, an indication, I think it's pretty cold. I mean, it's, some of the clouds have moved in here. The sun's still shining, but not nearly as brightly.
Well, Bart's had a little trouble hanging onto the ball today. We've seen him fumble a couple of times. I'm not sure who got on that ball. One of the big old linemen down there. Butis. Ryan in there. Could be one of those two.
So second down and 5 from the 5. Broncos can get a first down, but to do so, they have to stop it at like the 1-inch line. So ostensibly second and goal.
Being told Peter Namas got that fumble down there. So.
Hendricks down to the 1-yard line on the sprint option. A lot of the crowd has not come back. A lot of the crowd decided this game was over at halftime. 42-10, Boise State. You know, they've got the hamburgers cooking, the steaks cooking, the ribs were still warm. When they got back to the tailgate parties, and they said, what the heck?
There is one heck of a party going on out in this park. I'm telling you.
Third and 1 now for Boise State. And again, the Broncos Forsey, nice play. That was Jason Daniel, linebacker, coming up there, a senior out of Liberty Lake.
Again, the Broncos trying to go outside of the line of scrimmage where they've had more success running the ball, but Daniel wouldn't be fooled that time. Loss of 4 on the play.
Well, Broncos going to try a field goal here. They want some points. They're right smack dab in the middle of the uprights, and Nick Kalayakai will come on. You know, you drove right down the field. Had a couple of good plays. Got lucky. You know, recovered a fumble. Now you try a 21-yard field goal with Nick Kalayakai. And Nick is perfect. So Nick is 15 of 16 on the year field goals. And 7 of 7 today, 6 of 6 rather today, on extra points. So he's having himself what a year. And Boise State has added to the lead 45-10 now. Nick Kalayakai, 20-yard field goal. Boise State up 45-10. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network. Now the Broncos open up the third quarter with a 10-play, 74-yard drive. It took 4:44 off the clock, and they now lead 45-10. Brett Thompson getting ready to kick off. Jordan Kramer and Willie Alderson deep for the Idaho Vandals. And this one's going to get over both their heads through the end zone, and the Vandals will start at the 20-yard line. And the weather is taking a turn for the worse here. It's the inversion.
There's an inversion coming in. Yeah, we're not weathermen. We just play it on Saturday afternoon, but that's an inversion. I'm sorry.
It was nice when the sun was shining, but now the clouds are starting to eke out the sun.
Where's that Dorval guy when you really need it?
Yeah, he told us this would happen.
John Welsh, 9 of 15, only 86 yards, and that one big number on that screen is that 3 under the INT column.
All right, Welsh. Vandals have the ball at the 20-yard line. A lot of work to do here, and he's going to the air. Has the time. Now he's chased out of the pocket. Lets it fly, incomplete, and there's a flag down. Could be holding against Idaho. Bradley Phillips got to him.
Bradley Phillips coming in, applying pressure to John Welch. A flag on the field.
Hendricks, by the way, now over 300 yards passing, 315 in those 4 touchdowns.
Now they're calling it grounding. The flag is for grounding. Watch the pressure. Knock Welsh out of the pocket. Bradley Phillips coming right up the middle is the guy chasing him out of there. And now he'll just wing the ball off here to the right. And there's nobody in the vicinity.
Yeah, at that point, it's to avoid a sack. Now, you can throw the ball away to nobody if you're not in the grass, so to speak. And so the officials have that judgment to make a call. And Bradley Phillips, not so sure if he gets credited for a sack or not. That's a loss of down, so it'll be second down.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest penalties in football. Loss of yardage and loss of down. Not exactly what the Vandals needed at this juncture.
Ethan Jones comes to the right side. And it's John Welch under center. I formation. First Lacey in motion as the Vandals drop back. They hand it off to Alderson. Alderson slowed up by Shenard Hart. Actually, that was Sean Sandoval who slowed him up enough for the rest of the teammate to get there and help him out.
Gain of 3 yards.
3-yard gain is all, though.
Justin Howell in on that tackle, along with Jeff Kopp and Sandoval.
Shenard Hart's
rearranging the gear.
He's got some face time there. Huh? He's going to have to go off for a minute to take care of things. Brinkley comes in for him. Third down play, 4 out of 8 today for Idaho. So 50% on third down. This is a third and long, though. Well, overthrows his intended receiver, Jellenberg, and it'll be 4th down, and the Vandals will have to punt it away.
Well, the second down play was really a huge play for the Bronco defense there, allowing Alderson only 3 yards on that little misdirection handoff up the middle. Now, that's a play where the Broncos are certainly expecting a pass play, and the Vandals thinking maybe they can pick up 10, 12 yards on a play like that, but only 3 for Alderson on the second down carry.
Tim Sams. Short punt. And Broncos will have great field position here.
LeGarry Mitchell was in to give a little bit of pressure on that punt. At least he laid out and tried to get a hand on it, but that kick just kind of went straight up in the air and dropped straight down like a knuckleball.
Yeah, Ryan Downs, by the way, the punter.
Not happy with himself. Sure, his defense not very happy with him either.
Jeff Caves, I think, has an injury up there. Let's go down and check out with him.
Well, some people thought Kareem Williams may limp out there. Really, the decision's Kareem's now. If he plays, he may have to have an ACL operation on his knee. Don't expect him to play if Boise State gets into the Crucial.com H Bowl. Justin Brown is headed to St. Al's for x-rays on that dislocated knee. Trainer Gary Craner did tell me that it's one of the most serious injuries in football. So we'll keep you updated on the situation with Justin.
All right. So worse than we had anticipated. As you saw, going for all the marbles that Jeff puts here, and just a little bit too much mustard there by Bart Hendricks. He hasn't made very many mistakes today. Second down, 10 for Broncos.
We got flags all over the place. We had movement in the defense, but I think ultimately it'll be against Boise State.
Penalty flag is on the field.
I think Kevin Lousma may have moved a little bit too early.
It was tight end on the left side of the formation. Lousma, number 82, jumped a little bit early. Actually, the defensive front moved first, and then he moved second, but defense can do that. Lousma can't.
So it's all the way back now to the 40-yard line. It'll be second down and 15. Broncos up 45-10 here, 8:53 to go in the third quarter. Winner of this game goes to the Crystal.com humanitarian ball. Looking for Banks. That would have been a jump ball, but it was thrown out of bounds.
Andre Banks, the intended receiver, the pass is incomplete.
I'll say the pass route that's worked real well for the Broncos today is when they've run guys from the numbers all the way across the formation on slant routes to the corners of the end zone. So let's see if that play might be something that Dirk tries to resurrect here as they have third and 15 coming up.
Broncos haven't been great on third down.
Been good on fourth down.
Yeah, fourth down's been perfect, but third down's been a little bit tougher, but they've also put a lot of points on the board, so who can complain? Hendricks steps in the pocket, now gets out of it, and he can run if he wants to. Throwing, you know, Bart could have run for a first down, but he decided to just let it air.
Chase Willie, the intended receiver.
I think the big thing there is Bart's being told don't run if you don't have to.
I'm sure he's been counseled. I would think that, you know, should this 45-10 score hold up, that Dirk Cutter would much rather see him with a nice month off before the humanitarian bowl and with no bruises or contusions to heal up.
Second punt of the day is all for Jeff Edwards. Tim Sams, the guy's back to receive it. I had him punting a couple times today. I apologize for that.
Oh,
nice
one hopper.
Yeah. Trying to angle it. The Broncos can't quite get to it. Wes Nurse was there, but had a little bit too much angle.
It's a nice swan dive into the end zone.
Idaho will have it at the 20-yard line.
How about that grab by Edwards, though, on the snap?
Yep. Boise State up 45-10 here at Broncos Stadium. 8:32 to go in the third quarter. More after this on the Bronco Television Network.
Stay tuned at the close of today's game for the Carl's Jr. Superstar Play of the Game. Carl's Jr., if it weren't for us, some guys would starve.
Idaho first down at the 20-yard line. Welsh. Kirchner, I believe, is the running back. We'll see. Nope, it was Alderson. So Willie Alderson, not much there.
The senior, the Nampa High product, going to finish this game out. And why not? He's had some pretty good success on this blue turf here at Bronco Stadium over the years. Total offensive numbers, a gross mismatch, as you may expect with the score on the board.
Welsh with a little rollout. Oh! He's brought down by Quentin Michael, who came off the left side, and Welsh never saw him. Fifth sack of John Welsh today.
Quentin Michael he drew an X on the turf of where he was going to end up, and he and John Welsh just happened to end up in the same place at the same time. He just flies off the corner, and there's nothing Welsh could do except go down gracefully.
So a big loss. It'll be third down and 13 as Quentin Michael comes up with a big defensive play.
What a find this guy's been out of Eugene, Oregon. Got away from the Ducks.
Yeah, he did. He got away from the Pac-10 entirely. He was one of those borderline guys. Now, Quentin wants to call timeout. So he sees something he's not sure about. He's trying to call things over. Now, there's a flag way back at the 35. Quentin looked at the official and called timeout. Let's see if they gave it to him. Quentin was totally confused. He felt that his whole defensive squad was out of place. And it turns out to be delay of game Idaho, so they didn't give it to him.
They've been doing a lot of checkoffs in the backfield of this Bronco defense. Almost every play, and it varies by formation and down and distance as to how many times they check out. But they've done it quite a bit. Tom Cable saw the pain on his face when he went in at halftime. not much to alleviate that pain here in the third quarter.
Third down 18. Hand it off to Alderson. You're not going to get many first downs on 3rd and 18 running, but with it, Willie, you know, you never know. It's been his kind of year, but the Vandals trying to play it safe, make something happen, kick it out of there, and try again the next time.
You know, Ryan Downs is going to get another attempt here to punt this ball away. He's a freshman out of Casper, Wyoming.
Jeff Kopp on the sidelines. You saw him a moment ago. Big interception here today. And Quentin Michael, single safety for Boise State. Downs, punt, not a very good one. Michael comes up and takes it. And it's scooped up by Boise State. Now a fumble again. And still, now I think Idaho has it.
Well, Boise State should retain possession of that ball because there was another, again, Quentin Michael doesn't call for fair catches. He was hit before or at the same time that the ball was coming to him. Again, another interference by the Vandals on that punt cover team.
You figured that had to be the call, but I didn't see a flag go down immediately, so you never know.
Vandals came up with ball football, but there is a
But you'll watch here, Quentin Michael comes up to get it, and his arm is grabbed, actually.
Well, this will happen a lot with the guy, and you see the contact right there. No 3-yard rule. He didn't call for a fair catch. He didn't. You have to give him room to catch the ball, and this guy just doesn't call. Doesn't put his right hand up. He doesn't do that.
So Boise State, Quentin Michael coming up, trying to make a play on it.
Is that his impression of a mime? Is that our impression of a bad mic?
All right, Broncos have the ball at the 39-yard line of Idaho. 45-10 the score.
At the Vandal 39.
Broncos with 21 points in the first quarter, 14 in the second. And 3 so far here. They pass it out there. That's Brock Forsey. Has an army. He could score. Does. Brock Forsey, touchdown, no flags. Broncos in the 50s.
Well, there's that screen pass that we saw work last week against Utah State. This time they run it to Forsey. I believe the last time they tried to screen on the other side of the field, they were trying to throw it to Jeb Putsier. This time they give it to Forsey, and he has a armed escort into the end zone. They catch him on the blitz, the perfect play call for the wrong defensive call, and then it's just a matter of Brock Forsey weaving his way behind those big old linemen to get into the end zone.
So Nikolai will come on and try the extra point attempt. Nothing but net. 52-10, Boise State leads it here at Bronco Stadium, and you got to start thinking about the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl on December 18th as we look at Brock Forsey's run again.
Here it is from the sideline camera. Brock coming right into your living room and right into the end zone.
That is the 5th touchdown pass of the game by Bart Hendricks.
He just keeps racking him up, doesn't he, Wayne? Truly an incredible quarterback, a guy that in the last 2 years has really come into his own, not only here in Boise, but nationally, starting to get some recognition now, starting to top the charts in so many different categories. Certainly today's performance is not going to do anything other than make stronger cheerleaders out of all these push-ups that they're going to have to do. But Bart Hendricks has been the story of the year, and this really the story of the last 2 years.
Northwestern with a big game over Illinois, 61-23 a final there. The Sinclair update.
Bronco Television Network update scoreboard brought to you by Sinclair Oil, proud sponsors of Boise State University Athletics.
Bart Hendricks today, 17-22, 354 yards and 5 touchdowns. Those are pretty darn good numbers.
281 yards at the half, though, was the one that just slapped me upside the face. Unbelievable performance.
So Brett Thompson will kick it off. And again, it's short. Jordan Kramer comes up and takes it at the 14. And he is drugged down by Matt Strophus, who just slowed him up enough for somebody else to get over there and help out. How strong are Strophus' fingers?
Very, very strong. He's a big, strong guy.
That's called a finger tackle. You reach up there, grab the guy by the jersey.
He's one of those Colorado boys. You know, he's out of Denver, I believe. Yeah, Matt Strophus, sophomore out of Denver, Colorado. Grew up probably a Bronco fan. Now he is a Bronco. A little different kind of Bronco.
Look at those straps he's got there. Looks like he's got horns. Welch, back to pass. Ethan Jones makes the catch. Nice little gain. Greg Sasser brings him down after an 11-yard run. That'll be a first down for the Vandals. What Idaho's doing now, really, just going to the short pass. It's almost impossible not to complete, and then hoping for the big run afterwards.
Gary Mitchell in at the linebacker spot, replacing Justin Brown, who had the dislocated knee.
Clock running, 5:29 to go here in the third. Welch, nice pass out to Chris Lacey. Shenard Hart slows him up, and he's knocked out of bounds, but Idaho has another first down. Just little short passes here, getting to the corners, trying to make something happen.
A lot of 3s and 9s in on that play. Shenard Hartz and Quentin Michael with the tackle. Chris Lacey with the nice catch and run for the first down. Hartz couldn't get it done, but Michael finished it off.
Idaho now in Bronco territory at the 48-yard line. First down and 10 again. Couple of plays, couple of first downs. Welch, 3-step. Now he's looking long. Throws over the middle. And boy, Quentin Michael took a hit. I mean, he put a hit on Ethan Jones. They're both down.
Michael's a tough kid. He's going to get up. He's going to the sidelines, but he's going to get up. Jones now working his way up. That was a tremendous face-to-face collision. This is the courage that it takes to play football right here. They both know it's coming. They see it coming, and it's a Ethan Jones sandwich. And he took the brunt of it, but it didn't exactly do Quentin Michael a lot of good. Be very careful when you lead with that head. Luckily, Quentin had his face up and hitting face first instead of the crown of his helmet.
Josh Copp's in there now. Compton's in there. Welch over the middle. Chris Lacey has it, and he gets some attention.
Sasser with the first hit, and then holds him up. Sandoval and Compton come over to help out. Sasser's turned into a tremendous strong safety or rover. I'm not really sure what the positions are. Sometimes you can interchange these guys with the positions they play out there.
Second down, 5 yards to go. It's a gain of 5. Willie Alderson, very close to a first down, probably has one. Little 5-yard scamper there by Willie Alderson. Sandoval was in on the stop.
You're going to bring the chains out to measure this.
52-10 is our score. If you just tuned in, Boise State scored 21 in the first quarter, 14 in the second, led 42-10 at halftime.
Broncos jumped out to that kind of eerie 21-0 lead, just like they did last year up in Pullman. Really haven't let off the gas yet.
Idaho now trying to mount a drive. Welch has done it with some short passes. Pretty good runs after the catch. Nothing deep. He's got Lacey and Ethan Jones as wide receivers now. Alderson is set back. Nothing there. Broncos flush him out of the pocket and then bring him down. That's Bradley Phillips who nope, it's not Bradley Phillips getting up at the bottom of the pile. It's Tony Altieri.
Well, Bradley Phillips forced him to step up and start to scramble, and then Altieri finished him off. Tony will get credit for the sack. Brad Phillips is the one that forced him out of the pocket. Just a quick one-step drop, and there's nothing there. There's the force out, and there's the sack.
So it'll be second down and 11 yards. All at the 15. Welch, the punt. Dropped by Chris Lacey.
Oh, and Welch paid for that one dearly. Shenard Hartz planted him at the 25-yard line like a petunia.
Chris Lacey that time took his eyes off it just momentarily to turn around and try to run for the end zone and left it on the turf. You know, a guy whose name has not been called here today is Mike Robert, number 86, the tight end.
They've had Jeff Franks in there a lot.
Yeah, Jeff Franks has been there. And, they've gone with double tight end stuff. In fact, Robert's not in the game right now. They've got Michael McCoy at tight end, a freshman. Welch. Oh, he's got some running room. But he runs out of bounds, shy of a first down.
Well, he was way shy of a first down, so he took the the better part of valor there. Get out and live to play another day.
He took the seat. He says, "You know what? I'm a junior. I come back next year."
He just was still waving off that the hit that Shenard Hart's put on him. He didn't want another one. I mean, he's a tough guy, but he's smart too.
All right, fourth down, and Idaho has to get inside the 4-yard line for a first down. So a fourth down play here. The Vandals are going to go for it. They need points. They need them in a hurry. 3:14 to go here in the third. Down by 42 points. Welch rolling out. It's complete, but not for a first down. And that was completed to the freshman there, Michael McCoy. We got whistles galore because we got shoving, we got trash mouthing, we got all kinds of stuff going on.
I think it's going to be a long fourth quarter for some of these guys out there to contain their emotions. 3:08 left still in the third. Bronco defense holds and turns the ball over to the offense.
Well, it'll be interesting to see here what call Dirk Cutter makes, up 42 points with 3:08 to go here in the third period, and he still has Bart Hendricks out there. Interesting call.
Coming up towards...
We are going to be back, though, before we see Bart after this on the Bronco Television Network.
Coming up towards the end of the game, stay tuned for the Subway Sub of the Game. We'll highlight a non-starting player who's made a big contribution to today's game, brought to you by your local Subway sandwich shop.
Broncos get the ball back after a fourth down attempt. Doesn't make it for Idaho, and they hand it right up the middle. As Brock Forsey doesn't get much, about a yard. Boise State now working on some clock if they can. I think part of the reason why Bart's probably still in there is because of the field position where Idaho gave it back to Boise State. Kind of deep in there. Broncos, if nothing else, would like to, get a couple of yards, and if they have to punt, get it out of here, get a little field position, and then maybe start making some substitutions.
Well, Dirk Cutter doesn't like to pull Bart before the fourth quarter, so there's still a little time left before we get into that realm.
Hendricks looking for Snelling and throws behind him. I think the reason he threw behind him is he had no more passing lanes to throw through.
And I think he actually was throwing at the Forsey and overthrew.
All right.
Whoever he was throwing it to, he didn't throw it very well.
I was going to say.
There's your passing lanes you were talking about, Wayne. Yeah. Who's this ball going to?
Sounded like he was going for... Yeah, you're right.
Well, he's going to that guy on the turf down there.
You tell me.
Oh, turf grumbling.
He was right between them. He split them evenly, that's for sure. Hendricks again. The Banks knocked away. Incomplete. So it'll be fourth down. Boise State will kick.
Iggy Avero knocks that ball away for the Vandals. Man-on-man coverage here by Avero. Makes the break, then accelerates to the ball, gets it out of there before it's completed to Banks.
All right, Jeff Edwards sitting back there in his own end zone where he doesn't like to be there. But I can't say too much bad about Jeff. He supported me for president earlier in the week, and I appreciate that very much. High snap. Here comes the pressure. Gets it off and underway. Sands takes it and hit immediately. Still gets away. A couple of really good blocks. And Sands finally brought down by Travis Berger. Matt Strophus gets up slowly. Pretty good kick by Jeff Edwards out of pressure that time. 2:06 to go here in the third quarter. 52-10, Boise State leads it. Well, basketball is around the corner. Boise State opens the season tonight, but we open up our PTV season on January 4th at 8 o'clock down in Santa Barbara against the Gauchos at UCSB. Alderson. Stopped there by Sean Sandoval.
If you're a sports radio fan, that's the alma mater of Jim Rowe, the syndicated talk show guy. You've heard of Jim Rowe?
I've heard of Jim, you bet. You bet. He's the one that invented that phone thing.
Phone thing.
Where you go and you have Rome.
He invented the phone. I thought that was Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah, exactly. All righty, here we go. Well, throwing out to Gelbert. And Gelbert diving for a first down, and they give it to him.
Give it to him. There's a nice spot. You get those when you're down 52-10 sometimes. Oh, now they're bringing it back. The other guy said,
Now there's a little controversy down there.
We got a little overruled.
Yeah.
He did step out of bounds.
Yeah. But he gets an A for effort. There's no question about that. Randall's really still trying.
Well, let's see if he steps out of bounds or not. I thought he did. And right there. But the dive was nice.
3rd down and 1. Of course, every series now pretty much for Idaho is 4-down territory. Alderson, he has the first down easily.
LaMarco Gardner in on the defensive line for Boise State, a replacement up front. Marcus Perkis also has checked into the game at the D-line. Brad Phillips and Zach Weber, the two seniors, are going to stay out there, get a little bit more time, inhale a little bit more of the flavor that is their last home regular season game.
Welsh going for all the marbles, intercepted.
Dempsey
Nice break on the ball by Dempsey Dees, his 2nd interception of the year. And just he saw it coming, had the man well covered, and again, just like Quentin Michael did, or excuse me, just like Shenard Hartz did, made a nice move on the ball.
4th interception of the day for the Bronco defense. And that was a really nice one. Dempsey Dees really actually had to run around the receiver. Watch this pass right down the middle of the screen. And look at Dees kind of circle the wagon, come back for the ball better than the receiver does.
His 2nd of the year. He has not had the kind of year he had hoped to from the standpoint of numbers, but that's because everybody for so long threw the other way. Hendricks hands off, and Brock Forsey has a big hole. They're going to mark him down, though, at the 13. Clock running, 45 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Broncos lead is 42 points. Started quickly, and they just kept going. Brock Forsey, 15 carries, 68 yards in the game. Again, Forsey. Man, Chris Nofuenga says hello. That's a form tackle.
That was a form tackle. And that's using the receiver as a pillow for you also. The running back as a pillow. Those don't hurt at all as a linebacker. You never even feel contact when you hit a guy that clean. I guarantee the running back feels it.
Well, there you have it. We have played 3 quarters here at Bronco Stadium today, and it's been all Boise State, and the crowd letting the Broncos know how they feel about it. Capacity crowd and then some here in Boise. The Broncos lead it after 3, 52-10. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network.
Later in the broadcast, we'll announce the Atkinson's Mirror and Glass Player of the Game, brought to you by our good friends at Atkinson's Mirror and Glass.
Ed Dean getting a little warm-up time here, the backup quarterback for the Vandals, and maybe Mr. Welch's day is over. Ball knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Boy, I love it when the big old linemen pick it up, try to run it in, roll back.
His knee looks like it's recovered from the injury he had in the first half.
Now Boise State now through 3 quarters, Larry, 436 total yards. Bart Hendricks, his numbers on the day, 17 of 26 for 354 yards and 5 touchdowns and no interceptions, compared to John Welsh, 15 of 25 for 155 yards, 1 touchdown, but 4 interceptions. Punt by Edwards. And Broncos will get a good roll on it. So we'll see if that's still rolling or they're kicking it. One of the two.
You down at the 41.
Now let's see if Ed Dean comes in or what the deal is. Looks like he's in there with the offense, trying to get some playing time.
Yep, Ed Dean's coming out on the field, so John Welsh done for the day.
Well, he's a senior, you know, maybe a chance to get to play a little bit here in this game. So Idaho will start 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line. Boy, they handed off here to Willie Alderson, and there was just no hole. Tony Altieri bringing Alderson down for a big loss. Jeff Caves, what do you got for us?
Well, you really look at the Boise State linebacker crew out there. They're getting pretty thin. I told you Kareem Williams is going to have to make a decision whether or not he wants to play in the H-Bowl and have surgery. You've got now Justin Brown at the hospital. And Sean Sandoval, they were telling him on the sideline, you got to calm down. We need you. We need you on the field because we don't have many backups. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds, Wayne.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Oh, down to Sandoval, Justin Howell, and LeGarry Mitchell. That's it.
Dean got held up by Altieri, and that allowed Jeff Kopp to come over and put him to the turf. Got back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be a 3rd down and 10. That inversion has just stopped hitting him.
It's awfully cold in this valley when that inversion.
Yeah, it just is bone-chilling cold when that happens. But for the most part, the early part of this game was very nice. 3rd and 10. Back at the 44, that was the original line of scrimmage. We got guys jumping all over the place, and the flag is down. Idaho will back up 5 yards. A little later on in the game, we'll talk about the Humanitarian Bowl, who might or might not be coming here. Here's some scores, the Sinclair scoreboard. Arkansas hanging with Mississippi State in the 3rd quarter. Houston Nuts had some injury problems down there. TCU, talked about that, and UTEP. Those are 2 schools that people talk about maybe coming here, but more UTEP than TCU. And look at Chris Lacey. Ed Dean to Chris Lacey. They beat Julius Brown. Touchdown, Idaho.
Now they worked over the freshman that time. Ed Dean comes in with a little bit of a fresh arm. Time to throw the ball, and he finds Chris Lacey going down the sidelines right by Julius Brown. Lacey, a junior out of San Jose, California. Nothing fancy about that route. That's just speed versus a somewhat inexperienced cornerback. And the freshman, Julius Brown, gives up 6.
So Ben Davis comes on for the extra point attempt, and it is good. And Idaho gets its 2nd touchdown of the ball game with 13-12 to go here. And our score now reads 52-17. Boise State leads it here at Bronco Stadium. We'll be back on the Bronco Television Network. Back here at Bronco Stadium, we've got 13-12 to go, and Idaho will kick off. They just scored on a touchdown pass. Ed Dean getting a chance to play, replacing John Welch, throwing to Chris Lacey. Idaho's 2nd touchdown of the game. They've tried 1 onside kick in this ball game, and the Broncos have moved up a little bit, sensing yet another. And they do have one coming their way, and there's a flag. I was wondering why Boise State was going at it so nonchalantly. I didn't hear the whistle or the flag. Still not sure what it is.
I don't think there was a penalty. I just don't think they whistled him okay to go ahead and kick the ball.
Yeah, because
you still have to get permission from the referee.
All right, they think the truck says somebody threw something on the field and the official stopped play.
Small poodle? Cat?
Not sure. Let's see if they do it again. I would think so. They go the other way.
They got it again.
Yep. Same guy, same way.
This guy is maybe a better soccer player than he is a football player. I don't know, but
now, did he kick that left foot?
Yes, he did. Watch this.
See, this is what
incredible.
This is what soccer guys can do. You forget about that.
And he even has it turning back right towards the receiver. And I don't know what Shayla McDonough is doing, but he's asleep. He's been sitting over there on the sidelines freezing for the last 10 minutes. Must have froze his brain, too. I guess he didn't see that one in the first half.
That's pretty impressive. So 2 for 2 on onside kicks. The turnovers have hurt Idaho. They have had 4 turnovers, and Boise State has had none here today. Quick little pass. Ethan Jones. They're working on. Oh, somebody got yanked out of bounds. That was Julius.
John Sandoval coming over to help the freshman finish off the tackle.
Broncos now just trying to keep the Vandals in bounds so they can run this clock down. It's down to only 13 minutes. It seems like it's taken all day to play this game. Ed Dean going again deep and overthrows his intended receiver. Chris Lacey again trying it this time against D. Ross. D. Ross was with him stride for stride. We've gone from a bright, sunshiny day here to a gray, cloudy, and inverted day. Lights are on. 52-17 is our score. Third down and about a yard for Idaho. Hand off to Alderson. He trips and falls, but he still gets the first down.
Could have picked up a lot more, Wayne. That was a big hole off the right side as he cut back. Tripped over the 45-yard line, but as you said, plenty of yardage for the first down.
Some young faces in there for Boise State. Trying to get a little playing time and seeing what they could do. First and 10 for the Vandals. And Dean. Nice play by D. Ross, who saw it coming. It was completed, but for no gain, maybe a half a yard is all. D. Ross sniffed it out and snuffed it out.
D. Ross with a good enough hit to knock the receiver down. Good break on the football. The senior cornerback out of Marion, Ohio. Don't see too many Ohio guys on the Boise State roster over the years.
May see more if Broncos keep playing like this. Alderson in the eye on a second down. Ed Dean trying to get to the corner. Does so. And Compte brings him down. Now that's a nice little gain of about 8 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2.
As you mentioned, a lot of young faces in the game, but then there's still some old faces in the game like Sandoval, Greg Sasser. D. Ross checks out. Greg Toombs comes in at the cornerback position. But they can't hardly replace Sandoval.
That's it.
Howell, because they have nobody to go to except for Gary Mitchell.
No replacements over there. 3rd down and 3, actually. Quick pass. Caught for a first down at the 30-yard line. Julius Proud again, the man of Idaho's attention.
83 made the reception, but I don't see an 83 on the depth chart. Well, his name's Hunter. Let's go with that. He had it on his jersey.
First down, Vandals at the 29.
First and 10, right at the 29-yard line now. Vandals maintaining possession via that onside kick. Dean, the screen pass. Boy, what a nice hit by Comp. Ball's knocked out of bounds.
Michael McCoy, the tight end, on the reception.
Haven't gone to the tight end very much today, Idaho has.
Now they're saying the pass is incomplete.
Look at Compte here and listen to this hit.
get good enough to actually make the catch an incompletion. It's been overruled and changed on the field.
And that was a good call. You can see from that angle right there that he never had possession of the football. So second down and 10 at the 29-yard line. Kirchner. He gets about 3. It'll be a third down play. Boise State with a lot of new faces in there making that play with Sky Dumont, a junior.
Poor Sandoval and Justin Howell, they have no help at the end, baby. They're playing this game out. To our Sinclair update board. Oklahoma just rolls on.
Third down. Dean throws behind his intended receiver, so it's incomplete. It'll be a fourth down. Gelberg, the man he was looking for.
All series is 4-down series for the Vandals at this point in time. They're going to take a timeout and discuss it.
Tom Cable with a fourth down play coming up here. And we'll bring his offense over there, and we'll break 2. Timeout here in Boise. 9:51 to go in the ball game. Boise State 52, Idaho 17 on the Bronco Television Network. Well, we told you it's getting a little chilly here with that inversion setting in. The clouds moving in from west to east has made a completely overcast night here in Boise after a bright, sunshiny start. Fourth down play, Ed Dean over the middle. And it's incomplete. For a moment there, I thought he had it.
I think he one-hopped him. Again, that was Michael McCoy. Let's see if we can see it from this angle if it bounces up off the turf. And there it is right there. Good shot from our end zone camera. Shows you that it was indeed an incompletion.
So the Broncos will take over. And Bart Hendricks is still in there. So there goes your fourth quarter.
They didn't yank him last week until they had 66 on the board, I don't believe.
Inside handoff out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Broncos running the football now. Cleavon Bradshaw having a couple of words.
Chase Swan with the carry there from the fullback spot.
A gain of 5 yards. Second and 5 at the 32.
Senior out of Jerome. Nice to see the cream of the crop of the Idaho players staying here. Either at Boise State or at Idaho. A lot of Idaho guys on both these rosters.
Big first down play for Idaho, or excuse me, for Boise State, because they gained 5 yards. And a stretch handoff to Brock Forsey. He gets really knocked down there, but he was very close to a first down.
Patrick Libby with the hit.
Patrick Libby makes the tackle.
I don't think Forsey even saw that one coming.
No, he didn't. Those are the hardest kind. You don't see them coming.
Watch Forsey makes his cutback. Maybe just right there on the corner of his eye, but it's too late to be able to do anything about it.
Now, we apparently had some, because they're doing a measurement. I couldn't figure out what they were doing here.
Well, he hit him so hard he might have knocked him beyond the first down marker.
Yeah, I thought they were short, but we'll see. And it is going to be a first down. We got that out of the way. Let's go down to Jeff James.
Gain of 5 yards. And that's another Bronco.
All right, Jeff's not with us right now.
He's probably frozen to the
I was going to say.
track over there somewhere.
So the Broncos get a first down. Forsey now 17 carries, 68 yards on the game. And Hendricks flips it out. Nice catch by Forsey. Makes a couple of great moves. And gets about 8 yards. About 5 yards out of a play that could have been lost for 5 yards.
Complete to Brock Forsey. Brought down by Dan White. 5-yard gain.
Broncos now just trying to run this clock out, keep it going. It's down to 8:10.
I always get worried in this type of a game and at this time in a game when you're ahead by this far. Having a guy like Bart Hendricks in there that, I don't know, it just worries me and scares me that something bad's going to happen.
Handoff. Brock Forsey coming from the outside again. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
So for plays like that, nobody will ever touch Bart.
Well, that's the thing. Right now, they're using Bart in there basically to just handle the club and not make any mistakes. Broncos appear to be done going for the big bomb, big plays, but we'll see. 3rd down and 4. Excuse me, I'm sorry, 3rd down and 2. Jay Swilly, wide to the top of your screen. Brock Forsey. You fake it to him. Throw underneath the coverage. That is good for a 1st down to Snelling, who has been a big factor in this football game here today.
Snelling dragging across the formation from the tight end position. Been open almost every time that he's gone out on a route. Bart's found him most times.
So another 1st down for Boise State with 7:04 to go in the football game. Broncos going up the middle. Man, that Chase Swan powers his way to the 40-yard line.
Dan White, number 98, in on the tackle. White, a freshman right here out of Boise. Got the pleasure of meeting Mr. Shea Swan in the middle of the line of scrimmage there.
Second down and 2. Gain of 8 by Shea Swan. Brock Forsey in motion. And Bart back to pass. Looking for all the marbles to Jeff Puxier. He is down at the 1-yard line.
As knee came down, as he dropped down to catch that pass, right at the 1.
So Boise State going deep. With 6:13 to go and up 52 to 17.
Watch Jeb as he catches this ball. He goes to cradle it, both knees down before he gets to the goal line. And you can't believe it when he gets into the end zone. He didn't make it.
So 1st and goal from the 1-yard line for Boise State. Bart now 405 yards passing on that play. The pitch out to Brock Forsey. He strolls in. 58-17, Boise State.
The Broncos have been in love with the upper end of this 50 and lower 60s part of the scoreboard over the last 3 weeks. Rolled up some huge numbers. The Vandal defense just too beat up to be able to stop them today, Wayne. They've got too many injuries, too many guys hurt, not enough depth.
So Nikolajka will come on to try to kick the extra point. And it's 59-17, Boise State. 5 minutes, 54 seconds to go, and obviously, as you might expect, flags all over the place here because there's all kinds of hard feelings. You come into a game like this with a lot of emotions, and all of a sudden, you're starting to spill over.
Rocky Atkinson and Jason Daniel got into it on that PAT. Jason Daniel still wants a piece of somebody. Maybe he should have used that energy a little earlier in the game. But I'm sure Atkinson was not blameless on that play either.
You think he probably said something nice to him?
I think he just knocked Daniels right on his backside after the play was over. And that is the call, a personal foul against Boise State. So they'll be penalized on the kickoff.
Tom Cable, his return to Bronco Stadium has been a nightmare. And Dirk Cutter, I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions asked as to why he kept Bart in for so long. And we're
we're going to take a time out ourselves here as we sort this thing out. 5:54 to play, 59-17. Boise State on the Bronco Television Network. All right, we are back here. Boise State kicking off from deep in their own territory after the personal foul. And look at this. Look out. And Willie Alderson almost returned it all the way.
Wes Nurse with the stop for the Broncos. Vandals are going to have great field position here with 5:40 left to go in this ball game. 59-17 your score.
Again, don't forget, Boise State looks like they've got a date on December 28th to play in the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. And there was an article in the Fresno paper which said the H-Bowl committee was really after Fresno State to bring them here, not thinking they could get TCU and thinking that maybe El Paso would bring about 4 fans. So they wanted Fresno State because they've got such a great following. Pass incomplete to Ethan Jones. And so there was a big article in the Fresno State Bee yesterday talking about that very situation, that a lot of recruiting and a lot of recruiting going towards the Bulldogs.
Well, Fresno State would be an excellent team to bring up here for the Humanitarian Bowl. They, in basketball, I know travel people very well, and I'm not sure the last time they've been to a bowl game in football, so it'll be a good opportunity.
It'll be interesting to see, shake it all out. And, of course, in the next coming weeks, the future of Dirk Cutter. Where is he going to go? Is he going to stay at Boise State? We'll see. But meanwhile, Ed Dean throwing deep. And overthrows Chris Lacey. So Ed Dean airing it out. He and Lacey connected once, but not that time.
Julius Brown in coverage again for the Broncos. A lot of young guys in the game. Now, actually, our 2 linebackers we were talking about, Howell and Sandoval, did get a break. Right now, they've got Chris Foster, number 44, and Selin Thomas, number 45, at the linebacker spot. So the old guys got a little rest out there.
So 3rd down and 10. Dean. Oh, he's got Jones open, but he can't get to him. And he is brought down. And again, one of those guys you were just talking about there made the stop there. Chris Foster, sophomore linebacker out of Bellevue, Nebraska.
Not too many Nebraska guys on this roster either. You know where Bellevue, Nebraska is?
I sure do. You want me to tell you? It's just a
like I would know. I don't know anything about Nebraska. It's like a square.
Right.
What does Nebraska look like?
Well, flat, except right along the Missouri River. Bellevue is kind of a suburb of Omaha, just to the south there.
Thank you for that geography lesson.
Okay. Got an air base down there. Offutt Air Force Base in Bellevue. 4th down. Oh, Ethan Jones wide open. Goodbye. See you later. Taking it to the end zone. Ethan Jones.
Got Greg Toombs on a man-to-man situation. Jones made the nice cut to the inside, lost Toombs, and caught the football for the Sixer.
So Ed Dean has come in here, thrown 2 touchdown passes. And for him, as a senior, going out, something to remember by. On a rope, one-on-one coverage, and boom.
He's had a pretty good game today. Jones probably been their most prolific receiver by far, with the exception of the bomb to Chris Lacey for the touchdown.
So now it's 54-24, 59-24. Well, we got our Subway sub of the game, huh?
Yeah, I think it's time to take a look at some impact players from today's game. There he is, Jay Swilly, Mr. First Down. Although technically a starter with this receiving core, I mean, you can't tell who's a starter and who's not a starter. But we're going to give Jay Swilly a little recognition as our sub of the game. There he is, on cue.
Yep, he came in, had 6 receptions today, 3 of them for first down. So after the touchdown, Idaho will kick off. Hey, they're 2 for 2 on onside kicks. What do you think they'll
I don't
see?
even know if you call that an onside kick. That's like that's a corner kick. We're 2 for 2 in corner
exactly
kicks.
what it was. Yeah, I'll tell you what. That's one of the worst places you need to be right now, up there in the air, in the inversion.
Camera guy's frozen to the bone.
Broncos come up with it this time. Shea Swan, nice little catch there. That a little bit
It's like Willie Mays.
well, what they're trying to do there, but again, look at that. I mean, Ben Davis trying to go for the little spot there to get it on the ground and rolling around and see what happens.
They should have tried the same one they did before. The little corner kick thing was working great.
Yeah, no question. Well, I thought that was great because Ben Davis, the last time he kicked it, when they, did blow the whistle, he kicked it with his right foot on the ground, and then he comes right back. Looks like he's going to go the same way, kicks it with his left foot. All right, new quarterback for Boise State finally, Ryan Dinwiddie.
David Michael in at the tailback spot.
Broncos quarterback.
First down for the Broncos, out of the 33. Michael. He's knocked out of bounds after a first down and then some. First time he touches the football. How dangerous is this guy?
It's down to the 49-yard line of the Vandals.
4 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Now, after this game, stay with us. We'll talk to a few of the players, hopefully talk to Coach Dirk Cutter. We'll also have some of the ceremonies as Boise State gets their official invitation to the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. Jerry Smith in there as a wide receiver now. Broncos' second-team offense working the end of this game. Dinwiddie to Michael. He scoots out around the outside. Almost gets to the 45.
Let's take a look at our Carl's Jr. Superstar play of the game. There it was in the first half. The 4th down conversion, the fake speed option, drop back pass to Snelling in the end zone play. And that's probably just how they called that, too.
No question.
And that will be our Carl's Jr. Superstar play of the game.
That one pretty much put it totally out of reach. That gave the Broncos 42 points in the first half. Boise State total offense right now, 504 yards on 57 plays. Idaho has 364. Vandals picking up a bunch of yardage on a few plays lately. Michael trying to scoot outside and doesn't get a whole lot there. Gets to the 45 and an inch.
But he did manage to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Which is what everybody wanted him to do here when it's getting down to about 18 degrees.
Man, 18 may be warm.
But when you saw that highlight we showed you, our Carl Jr. Superstar play of the game, that even warmed me up just looking at the sunshine back there in the second quarter.
Seems like last week.
It does. Long game here tonight. 3:25 yet to go here. We want to thank everybody for being with us here on the statewide broadcast. Last time these two teams will meet as conference foes for the foreseeable future. Idaho in the Sun Belt next year. Boise State playing in the WAC. Ryan Dinwiddie back to pass. Throws complete to Gilligan. Tim Gilligan down to the 1-yard line. No, they say touchdown. They say he got in. He just barely did, but he got there. Ryan Dinwiddie splitting the defense to Tim Gilligan for the touchdown.
Boy, Dinwiddie threw a bullet.
Well, this guy had like 58 touchdown passes in high school. I mean, what they say is that if anybody can break Bart's records, it's this guy.
Watch this laser beam that Dinwiddie rolls out here. I mean, he just splits the defenders, hits Gilligan right on stride, and then it's a foot race.
Guy's extra point attempt is good, but there's a flag down, and they went after Kalaikai, I do believe. Boise State 66, Idaho 24. Well, we've seen 66s 2 weeks in a row. I don't think you can ever say that, huh?
I have never seen that.
I've never seen that in my life. I mean, Bronco fans, think about it. Last year, Boise State absolutely clobbered Idaho. Final score, 45-14. Clobbered it. And now it's 66 points here, and it was 42, to 3 at halftime here today, or 10 at halftime, I believe. And, the offense that Boise State has here right now, with the talent they have to run it, is just unbelievable. And they've done it to everybody.
Yeah, they really have not had a game this year where they haven't had decent offensive output.
Well, think about it. Their worst scoring game of the year has been 31 points. They've done that a couple of times. But 31 points has been the fewest points this team has scored. When you look down, there are only 2 teams in the country that have scored more points than Boise State. Kansas State is one of them. Florida State is the other. And that may not be the case after the day.
Kansas State and Florida State schedule maybe is just a little bit tough.
Well, there's no question there. But still they put up the points. You're right. They put up the points. So the Broncos will kick off from the 50-yard line. 3:15 to go here in the ballgame.
Well, at this point in time, with the Broncos still passing the ball with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game, I just hope we can get out of here without any fights, major disturbances, or cheap shots by either team.
Well, it seems like every Idaho game, Boise State game, has a controversy. A little pooch kick, fair catch call for it, nice play. But every Boise State-Idaho game seems, and there's another flag down, by the way, has its share of controversies, Larry, and there's been fake punts when you're up big. There's been faking field goals when you're up big, or kicking field goals. I can't remember what happened.
Onside kicks when you're up big. That was back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Things goes back a long way.
And then here, Boise State kept Bart Hendrickson within about 5 minutes to go in the game, up 59. And at any rate, speaking of Bart Hendricks, go ahead, Larry. We had to really work on this one to find out who the player of the game was.
Well, our Atkinson Mirror and Glass player of the game is, oh look, it's number 17, Bart Hendricks. 30 attempts, 20 completions, 405 yards, and obviously the 5 touchdown passes. Rather large day for the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm nominee, Bart Hendricks.
If he doesn't win it, I'll tell you what, if he doesn't win it, I will be surprised. At one point when he showed up with those guys, I said, that's great to be there. Now, I think he's got to be amongst the favorites. And I'll tell you what, 449 yards passing for Boise State today, 570 yards in total offense. And some good defense there by the Broncos.
You saw the coach there shaking himself off. That's Jeff Pittman, the strength coach. He's the only Bronco on the coaching staff, the only former Bronco on the coaching staff. So the team decided to give him the old Gatorade salute today.
That's great. The thing of it is now, if he doesn't get out of here in a hurry, he's gonna freeze up. That'll freeze over.
Popsicle.
That stuff will set in for F to throw that jacket away.
I can't tell if that was a compliment or an insult they just gave him by doing that.
Second down now, 12 at the 20-yard line for Idaho. Ed Dean at quarterback. And Ed, stay in bounds there. He does. Nice tackle there by Travis Berger. So it's been an interesting season here on the Bronco Television Network. For those of you who have been with us all season long, all 7 games that we have done here, thank you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you watching the Broncos. For those of you watching today on KLEW in Lewiston for the first time, again, I know this game probably didn't go the way you had anticipated or hoped it would go, but again, thank you for joining us here. Hope we didn't tick you off too much. We are on the Bronco Television Network, and I'm sure we said some things that annoyed you, but we apologize for that, Vandal fans. 1:48 to go here. Nice pass by Ed Dean. Nice catch, nice tackle. Good execution on everybody's part.
That's that Hunter guy again that's not on the depth chart. He's still number 83, but he's still not on the depth chart.
Again, a reminder, the Bronco Television Network will resume on January 4th down in Santa Barbara. We get to go down there. Somebody's got to go down there on January 4th.
Okay, I'll go with you.
All right. You bet.
And we'll have the Boise State Gauchos in basketball. Boise State, in fact, playing basketball right now against Cincinnati. And then they play Kansas on Monday night. Ed Dean. It's going to be thrown over everybody's head. Nobody's going to get it. A minute 19 to go. We've got 5 Bronco basketball games for you next year. Looking forward, you know, one of the games against Long Beach down there at the Pyramid, and Long Beach picked to finish second in the Big West Conference.
We're going to cover that game. We're going to cover a game at UC Irvine. So we'll have 3 trips to California. Isn't that interesting how we wrangled 3 trips to Southern California in the middle of winter?
Works for me, because the other 2 are to Logan, Utah, and Moscow. So
those won't be warm.
Yeah, they'll probably be pretty chilly down there. I've never been to Logan when it's been warm.
Even in the summer, huh?
Well, I've never been there in the summer. That's my problem. Ethan Jones makes a nice move, gets a first down. That'll stop the clock. That Cutter just got a little Gatorade, too, huh?
He's smart enough. He moved just enough so it didn't go down his collar.
Who in their right mind would have the nerve to give Cutter a Gatorade bath?
Probably a senior. That'd be my guess. Jeff Kopp, that would be it.
There you go.
There you go.
told Jeff Kopp's the guy that did it, huh?
Kopp will be running next week.
Kopp's going, I'm taking next week off, baby.
See, remember, guys, you got to play the humanitarian bowl here soon. The Crucial.com humanitarian bowl.
Ed Dean gets away from one guy. Well, he's making some moves out there, isn't he? Of course, he's doing it against the second and third, even some 4-teamers for Boise State. Is everybody getting a chance to play in this game? 42 seconds to go. 66-24. Boise State leads it. And again, a little bit of history here. We remind you the last time these 2 teams will meet as conference foes. Next year they play in Pullman. The game is on September 29th, and then in 2 years it's the opening game of the year. Dean intercepted by Travis Berger. Travis Berger looking for a couple of blocks. And Berger out of bounds with 13 seconds to go at the 31-yard line.
Now keep your eyes on Travis Berger over the next few years. Berger, a redshirt freshman out of Coos Bay, Oregon. I think this is a guy you're going to see a lot of and a lot of big plays from. Not just because of that interception he just made, but this kid's a force on special teams right now. I think you're going to see a lot of good things out of number 13 over the next few years.
But, you know, one of the things a lot of people compliment Dirk Cutter for is his offense, his offensive scheme. But one of the things he's done, Larry, as you know, he has had some tremendous recruits here. That's the thing that if he does leave, go someplace else, the recruiting will be really, it could be hurt because he is a great recruiter. He has brought a lot of great kids in here, and they feel like their redshirt class is better than what they got. And the Broncos finish the year 9-2, 5-0 in Big West play.
Dirk Cutter and Tom Cable meet at center field. Exchange a handshake and a couple of words.
66-24, your final here today. And again, the last time these 2 teams will meet as conference foes. Idaho in the Sun Belt next year, Boise State in the Western Athletic Conference.
I'd like to remind our viewers we're going to have a little bit of an extended post-game show here. We're going to talk to coaches and some players. Anybody Jeff Caves can find down there that wants to talk to us, we're going to talk to them.
We're going to go here about 15 minutes, and then, of course, we'll go back to the Channel 2 newsroom and do some stuff. Jeff Caves, what do you have with you?
All right, with the victorious coach, Dirk Cutter. How do you describe your emotions, man? 11 weeks later, baby, 9-2.
Oh, man. We got some kind of football team. We got some kind of team. We're very proud of our players, very proud of our coaches, very proud of our fans.
Times like this where you can truly sit back and enjoy all the work and the discipline and the focus that you ask not only of yourself but your staff and your team. These are the moments that it really all pays off, doesn't it?
Well, Big West champs and going to a bowl game. That's what you work for, and I'm so proud of our guys. So proud.
Dirk, is there any way anybody could say that maybe you left in Bart too long, or the score was one that you want in the history books?
No, not at all. They were blitzing us every down. They didn't play any zone the whole game. They were blitzing us a 9-man front. We couldn't run the ball. We had no choice. I feel bad about it, but we had no choice.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Wayne, we'll send it back up to you for a little bit. A very emotional Dirk Cutter. We'll be back with some of the players.
Yeah, no question about that. A lot of emotion on the part of Dirk Cutter. And there you see the Broncos. They're kind of moving the little stage in place here on the field as they'll get ready to give the Broncos their official bid into the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. That'll be played here December 28th. That's a Thursday. And I think, I'm not sure exactly when the time start is, but we'll find out for you. We've got a lot more coming up for you here at Bronco Stadium. The Broncos, a big 66-24 winner. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network. Well, that picture pretty much tells the whole story. 66-24 was all Boise State here today at Bronco Stadium, and now the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. And Dennis Farrell, the commissioner of the Big West Conference, making the invite.
You go through an entire season with a big target on your chest. Everyone is out to get you. But this year's team, on the 20th anniversary of a great national championship for your university, has done just that. On behalf of the Big West Conference, I congratulate you on a fabulous job. Present you with a championship plaque. I believe that we have someone who would like to ask you if you've got something to do around the 28th of December. Here's Milford Carroll, the president of the
Thank you. I'll tell you what we have before us this evening is one of the greatest coaches, one of the greatest coaching teams. What do you call them? All the teams, all the coaches drive me crazy, and the players. On behalf of Bart Livingston and the board of directors and myself, Dirk Cutter, congratulations, and we'll see you at the Humanitarian Bowl.
They want Coach to make a speech. Now Boise State again winning here today, 66-24.
I'd like to invite you and your guys
and we're going to try to get a couple of interviews.
December 27th at the Boise Center on the Grove.
We'll get a couple of interviews for you, and we will have that when we come back here at Bronco Stadium after this on the Bronco Television Network. All right, final again, 66-24. Let's go down to Jeff Caves, who has a very special guest.
Yes, it is. Bart, all you wanted to be known as was a winner. All you wanted to do was put wins in the win column. What a way to complete your regular season with one more to go. How's it feel, my man?
It's awesome. I mean, especially for the seniors to come out there and, you know, we played an awesome game and the offense did well, defense held their ground, and I mean, it couldn't end better.
How do you describe the feeling when these plays come in time and time again and you're hitting on all cylinders? Is it just a quiet confidence where you know that everything's going to be there?
That's exactly what it is. It's like every play we have a potential to score. I know the first couple, I think first 10 pass plays we had, we looked at them, there was only one play that probably wasn't going to score, and that was just because it was a 5-yardage play. But you know, that's the way this offense is. You got to go big, and you know, Idaho allowed us to do that because they stacked so many players inside the box there, so we took advantage.
Bart, what about your future? What do you want to do? I mean, what you want to work out, get in the combines, get into these senior bowls, and become an NFL draft pick?
I mean, that'd be awesome. I mean, it'd be an honor just to even go there and be mentioned and go to a senior bowl, but you know, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely gonna, if it happens, I'm definitely gonna work my heart out for it, though.
All right, Bart, congratulations. Thanks. All right, good scene here. Wayne, back to you.
All right, Bart Hendricks, what a day. You saw the figures on him, 5 touchdown passes, and there are your Big West champions going into the locker room. Coach will talk to him again, and I think you see why this Bronco team plays with so much vigor, if you will. At the end, when we talked to Dirk Cutter, he's an emotional man.
He truly is. And, you know, last week I saw, or 2 weeks ago, I saw a little bit of emotion in him. This week, definite emotion, but it's such a long season, Wayne. They've started this campaign. I mean, really, the coaches don't stop all year long, but they started this campaign in earnest the first week of August. They go day in and day out every day of the week until right now. They might get a couple of days off between now and the Humanitarian Bowl, but the tax on your mentality, the emotional drain, the strain on your family, it all builds up after a while, and Dirk Cutter has got to let a little bit of that out. You don't see it very often from the man, but you saw a little bit tonight.
Well, you know, we talk a lot up here, but I'd like to go back down to Jeff Caves, as Jeff's is still with us now. Go back down to Jeff Caves and talk to him, and just, you know, Jeff, you got that 1980 national windbreaker on. You're down there. This whole team was back in here. Tell me what you thought about this game and what it meant, I mean, to you, especially given the fact that we've talked a lot of times. This is the final time these two teams will meet as conference foes, Jeff.
Yeah, that was a good topic of discussion, certainly, for this week of the game. You know, during the football game, Tony Altieri came up to me and talked to me on the sidelines and said, you know, this is a great win for all those guys from 1980 to experience. And he was really quite glad that he was able to make it happen. Some tremendous defensive linemen, Michel Bourgeau, Randy Troutman. I mean, we're talking Hall of Famers. We're on that football team, and they had an opportunity to meet them yesterday afternoon here in the Allen Noble Hall of Fame Gallery, and then later on that evening at the Holiday Inn. It is a tremendous atmosphere for winning when it starts at the top the way it does with Dirk Cutter, and everything right now is going top down. And I think earlier in the game I said it, this 3 hours is his release. I think Dirk Cutter gets about 33 hours a year where this is where he wants to be, and the rest of his time is all spent getting there. So it's a fantastic ride for Boise State this season, and now we just hope it continues on to the Crucial.com H-Bowl, and we'll see what happens. Wayne?
Jeff, thanks again for all your help this year for the sidelines. You've kept us informed every single game here on the Bronco Television Network. Larry, I'll tell you what, you saw Bart Hendricks. He finally made himself and made his way into the locker room after all the congratulations from people there. And look at the final stats. Passing 449 yards for Boise State. The Broncos scored 21 in the first quarter. They got 22 in the second quarter, and then 10 and 14. I mean, they just kept it coming.
469 yards, or 569 yards in total offense. Again, they had a little over 600 last week, but some tremendous performances. And really, when you look at this season, you know, you look at some of the games we've been able to bring you on the Bronco Television Network, going back to New Mexico and to Arkansas, and just some great games and some great fun, but just incredible offense week after week.
Defense, let's just not forget one defensive stat here today, which was impressive. 6 sacks for a loss of 29 yards today. So the Bronco defense came. They brought it against John Welsh and the Vandals.
They did, with 5 interceptions, too. Let's not forget that one. That's the obviously a huge output of turnovers. That was a big part of the game, but, you know, Bart Hendricks in that offensive scheme is the big part of the game, and you see him running in the sunshine right there on your screen. He's the man. He's the guy. So, yeah, you raise your hands in victory, Bart Hendricks, because you are a winner.
All right, 2 years in a row, the Boise State Broncos are the Big West champs. 2 years in a row. They go to the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl December 28th this year, a Thursday afternoon. And, of course, that will be a lot of fun here in the Treasure Valley. Again, your final, Boise State 66-24. For Jeff Caves, Larry Pulowski, I'm Wayne Zubak. Thanks for joining us here on the Bronco Television Network.